Chapter 871. Along the way, Tang Ao had mixed feelings. He was enjoying it, but at the same time, he had a strange feeling. Luckily, an hour later, Tang Ao arrived at Baisuru's tribe. After returning to the tribe, Baisuru put Tang Ao down. At the same time, she shook her numb arm and said softly, "This guy is so heavy. I'm so tired." The people of the Frost tribe saw Baisuru and Bai Qin return and surrounded them. The elder of the Frost tribe, Bai Yuan Feng, saw Baisuru and Bai Qin return with an unconscious man. His face turned cold. Who is this? Now that the Frost tribe and Dong and tribe have a marriage alliance, why did you two bring a man back? Men, throw this man out. Bai Yuanfeng's face was cold as he looked at Tang Ao, who was lying on the ground. Who dares? It took me a lot of effort to carry him back. I'm not going to marry Dong and tribe. Why do you have to throw him out? Baisuru hated this elder very much. He was the one who advocated for the marriage alliance between the Frost tribe and Dong and tribe. He had sent her sister to that devil, Tian Xiangfei. You have no respect for your elders. Although you're not going to marry Dong and tribe, you're going to marry the young master of the Qinghong tribe, Song Yu. At this moment, young master Song Yu is a guest in our tribe. You are not allowed to mess around, Bai Yuan Feng said, sending out a massive hand made out of essence energy towards Tang Ao, wanting to crush Tang Ao. Don't you dare. Baisuru was furious when she heard the elder arrange the marriage for her. Baisuru's body flashed and appeared in front of Tang Ao. If the elder did not stop, she would be crushed into a bloody mist. Bai Yuan Feng saw Baisuru standing in front of Tang Ao and snorted. Although he held back a little, he still tried to grab Baisuru. Grand Elder, stop. Bai Qin didn't expect the Grand Elder to dare to attack her sister and immediately shouted. However, Bai Yuan Feng had no intention of stopping. As Baisuru screamed, Baisuru fell to the ground with a pale face. The spiritual energy in his body was in a mess, and his qi and blood were in turmoil. However, Baisuru was stubborn. After being injured by the battle, she coldly looked at the head elder, picked up Tang Ao, and walked back to her room. If you want to form a marriage alliance with the Qinghong tribe, you could do it yourself or send my corpse over. If it wasn't for father, Baisuru suddenly stopped. The leader of the Frost tribe, who was also Baisuru's father, had been poisoned by a deadly poison. Baisuru almost told the others about it. Although the great elder already knew about this, the other clansmen didn't. Once this news got out, it would definitely cause chaos in the clan. It was also because her father was poisoned that the great elder dared to be so arrogant. Moreover, the great elder already had plans to replace her father. After Baisuru placed Tang Ao on her bed, Tang Ao slowly opened his eyes. Tang Ao pretended to be confused and looked around. He then said, "Thank you for saving my life, lady. I remember I died with a steel-bone wolf. I didn't expect to still be alive." Then, Tang Ao seemed to want to take something out of his storage ring to give to Baisuru, but Tang Ao's fingers were empty. Tang Ao slapped his head. "I guess I lost my storage ring when I was fighting with a monster. What a shame. I am Tang Ao. May I know your name?" Tang Ao smiled at Baisuru. Chapter 872. Tang Ao naturally knew that his storage ring was not lost during the battle with the beasts. Instead, it was taken away by the shadowy young man who traveled with Baisuru. At the same time, Tang Ao understood that the shadowy young man seemed to have some sort of status. Even Baisuru and her sister did not dare to offend him. Therefore, Tang Ao would not reveal this matter to others. He did not want to embarrass Baisuru. Moreover, in a sense, Baisuru had indeed saved Tang Ao's life. She was Tang Ao's savior. Tang Ao was very grateful towards Baisuru. Although Tang Ao's injuries had recovered quite a bit, if Tang Ao were to stay in the wild for a long time in his current condition, it would be very easy for him to run into situations that he could not handle. Moreover, Tang Ao also understood that because she had saved him, the people in Baisuru's tribe seemed to be a bit dissatisfied with her. Even now, there was still someone watching outside Baisuru's room. It was a man with a black mask on his face. His soul power was a bit special, and it was very well hidden. He hid in the dark, and his figure seemed to have merged with the darkness. Moreover, what surprised Tang Ao the most was that he could not see through this person's cultivation. Tang Ao could only vaguely sense that this person's strength should be at the Sea of Souls realm. However, Tang Ao did not know exactly which level of Sea of Souls realm he was at. When Tang Ao's soul power scanned through him, Tang Ao clearly saw this person's expression fluctuate a bit. It was obvious that this person had sensed Tang Ao's soul power. Even though Tang Ao was heavily injured, Tang Ao's soul power was still very strong. However, this person had still sensed Tang Ao's powerful and profound soul power. This was enough to prove that this person was not ordinary, but that this person was very dangerous. Tang Ao noticed the person watching outside the room, but Bai Suru did not notice at all. In Bai Suru's room, there was a copper pot. In the copper pot, there were large pieces of beast meat and some herbs. Bai Suru rolled up her sleeves, took out a clean porcelain bowl, and filled it with meat soup for Tang Ao. You are heavily injured, so this is to nourish your body. Tang Ao lifted the bowl and smelled the fragrance. Moreover, although the food that he ate would turn into turbid air and dissipate out of his body, it would still leave some impurities in his body. Although the food that he ate would turn into turbid air and dissipate out of his body, it would still leave some impurities in his body. However, this was not a problem for him. This was not a problem for Tang Ao. After drinking a mouthful of the broth, Tang Ao's spirit was shaken. He looked at the half bowl of broth in disbelief. This meat soup is really delicious. I have never eaten such delicious food before. Tang Ao had lived 2 lives, so naturally, he had eaten a lot of delicacies. However, Tang Ao had never eaten such delicious food before. At the same time, after drinking the broth, a strange warmth slowly flowed into Tang Ao's heart. Tang Ao looked inside himself and found that his body constitution had been slightly strengthened. Although the change was very subtle, Tang Ao's heart was in turmoil. Tang Ao's body constitution was not an ordinary one. It was the 9 Dragons Emperor's jade body that even Dao Masters would drool over. However, just now, the almost perfect 9 Dragons Emperor's jade body had been strengthened. Although it is difficult for some tribes to hunt for meat, it is not like you have never eaten it before, right? Bai Suru chuckled, then scooped herself a bowl of meat soup and drank a mouthful. Tang Ao, which tribe are you from? Seeing that you appeared in the Gloom Mountains, you should be from the surrounding tribes. However, I have never seen you before. Chapter 873. Tang Ao, you're not from the Winterfrost Plain? Are you the same as Brother Yuwuji? Did you come from the outside? Bai Suru asked Tang Ao curiously. Tang Ao's heart skipped a beat. When Bai Suru said the name Yuwuji, Tang Ao's soul power clearly sensed that the body of the black-clothed youth outside Bai Suru's room moved slightly. Could it be that the person outside was Yuwuji, or was he related to Yuwuji? Tang Ao thought to himself. He then asked casually, are there other people in your tribe who also came from outside the Winterfrost Plain? I was chased by my enemies, so I used a very powerful escape talisman and entered the Winterfrost Plain by mistake. As far as I know, there seems to be only one way to the 5 Elements demonic realm. There doesn't seem to be a way to the Black-Yellow continent. Tang Ao was not sure if Bai Suru could understand this, but he still asked. Tang Ao could not stay here forever. If his injuries could not get better, Tang Ao had to leave. The level of the spirit grasses in this place was too low. Although Tang Ao had Shinnong Emperor's inheritance and could refine a lot of healing pills, these high-level pills could only be refined with high-level spirit grasses. In the ice and snow plain, spirit grasses above LV5 were very rare, let alone LV6 or even higher-level spirit grasses. Bai Suru's beautiful eyes turned, and then she said, "Do you want to go home?" Don't worry, there are many people who enter the Winterfrost Plain from other places. Almost every once in a while, there will be a few. Brother Yi Wuji came from the outside. This means that there must be a way to connect the Winterfrost Plain with other places. Tang Ao secretly praised by Suru's cleverness. She vaguely guessed what he was thinking when he asked casually. Moreover, Tang Ao was a little confused. It seemed that Bai Suru and Yi Wuji had a good relationship, but why was Yi Wuji monitoring Bai Suru outside the room? Tang Ao couldn't figure it out, so he didn't point it out. Furthermore, Yi Wuji could not be considered a surveillance right now. Although he was outside the room, he did not cover the room with his soul power at all times. He could only hear the conversation between Tang Ao and Bai Suru with his powerful sixth sense. Miss Bai, have you heard of Pentachinensis here? Pentachinensis was a kind of sixth-grade spiritual grass, one of the main spiritual grasses used to refine the origin-restoring pill. The energy-gathering pill was the strongest healing pill that Tang Ao could refine at present. But among the spiritual herbs needed to refine the energy-gathering pill, the most important spiritual herb, the five-split gold thread, was not available to Tang Ao. Although he asked, Tang Ao did not have much hope. This was because even in the black-yellow continent, which was rich in resources, the five-split gold thread was still very rare. In the ice and snow plains, rank 5 spirit grasses were extremely rare. According to Bing Xian, there are only a few kinds of rank 6 spirit grasses. Therefore, it was very likely that there was no such spiritual herb as Pentaspora chinensis in the winter plain. Let me think. Tang Ao's question made Bai Suru momentarily unable to answer. In Bai Suru's impression, she had heard of a spiritual herb called Pentachinensis somewhere. After thinking for a moment, Bai Suru seemed to have thought of something. Suddenly, she rolled her eyes at Tang Ao. I remember now. Pentachinensis is a rank 6 spirit grasses. You're asking about the whereabouts of a rank 6 spirit grasses. Could it be that you're a rank 6 alchemist? Chapter 874. Yes, to be honest, I am indeed an alchemist, but I'm not a 6th realm alchemist. Not long ago, Tang Ao heard that the old man in Bai Suru's tribe had sent Bai Suru to another tribe for a 3rd realm alchemist. Therefore, he knew that although there weren't many spirit grasses in the ice plain, alchemists seemed to have a surprisingly high status. Therefore, if Tang Ao were to tell the truth, Bai Suru would not believe him. Tang Ao did not know what realm the best alchemist here was. At the same time, before he had the ability to protect himself, revealing his alchemy ability was a very dangerous thing to do. If he was seen by someone with bad intentions, Tang Ao would most likely be captured and forced to refine pills for the rest of his life. Are you really an alchemist? What realm are you? After knowing that Tang Ao was an alchemist, Bai Suru looked at Tang Ao with shining eyes. 3rd realm. Tang Ao did not know why Bai Suru was so passionate about alchemy, but he still lowered the level of his alchemy ability. However, what Tang Ao did not expect was that Bai Suru's mouth twitched. Tang Ao, I am really interested in alchemy, but I've been learning alchemy for 10 years, and I'm only a high-level 1st realm alchemist. How old are you? How can you be a 3rd realm alchemist? Bai Suru was a little angry, as if she was certain that Tang Ao had lied to her. Tang Ao was a bit speechless. When he said that he was a 3rd-grade alchemist, that was an understatement. If he told her the truth and told her that he was a 6th-grade alchemist, then Bai Suru would probably ignore him. I have been cultivating in an alchemy sect since I was young, so my alchemy skills are slightly better than others. Tang Ao felt that becoming a 3rd-tier alchemist was not too difficult, and Bai Suru had saved his life. If there was anything that could help Bai Suru now, Tang Ao would not refuse. Hearing Tang Ao say this, the doubt in Bai Suru's eyes lessened a little, but she still asked, Are you really a 3rd-grade alchemist? I thought that only Song Yu, that fellow, could become a tier 3 alchemist at this age. If I was also a 3rd-grade alchemist, that old man by Yuan Feng would not have forced me to marry Song Yu's tribe. When Song Yu was mentioned, Bai Suru glanced at Tang Ao and said, Although you look a little ragged right now, you look much better than Song Yu. If Bai Yuan Feng forces me again, I might as well marry you. Of course, the prerequisite is that you are a 3rd-grade alchemist. Ugh. Tang Ao was once again shocked by Bai Suru's words. If he was a 3rd-grade alchemist, would such a beautiful girl like Bai Suru be willing to marry him? Among the beauties that Tang Ao had seen, by Suru Luo Tsai, and in Ruosu could be said to be at the same level. Although Bai Suru was still a little immature, this immaturity could not hide her peerless beauty. Seeing Tang Ao's embarrassed look, Bai Suru could not help but laugh. "Who told you to brag? Now you know how powerful I am? You even said that you were a third-grade alchemist. Not to mention that you were a third-grade alchemist. Even if you were a second-grade alchemist, I would still consider marrying you. It is rare to see such a young second-grade alchemist. But I already have a lover, so I may have to disappoint Miss Bai's kindness." Tang Ao thought seriously and said. Chapter 875. I'm indeed a rank 3 spirit alchemist. How about I concoct a cauldron of spirit ocean pills for you to see? Tang Ao was worried that Bai Suru would think that he was lying again. So Tang Ao suggested concocting a cauldron of spirit ocean pills for Bai Suru to see. Spirit ocean pills were the pills used by warriors at the peak of the origin realm to make a breakthrough. After taking the spirit ocean pill, the chance of a warrior at the peak of the origin realm breaking through to the spirit ocean realm would increase by 30 to 90%. The higher the quality of the spirit ocean pill, the higher the chance. However, the higher the quality of the spirit ocean pill, the harder it was to concoct. Many alchemists could concoct low, medium, and even high-quality spirit ocean pills, but they might not be able to concoct special quality spirit ocean pills in their entire lives. Indeed, after hearing Tang Ao's words, Bai Suru's eyes brightened. Seeing Tang Ao's confident expression, Bai Suru waved her hand and took out a small cauldron from her storage ring, along with a set of ingredients for spirit ocean pills and a set of ingredients for nurturing chi pills. Nurturing chi pills were also a rank 3 spirit pill, but nurturing chi pills were a less valuable healing pill. On the other hand, spirit ocean pills were one of the most valuable rank 3 spirit ocean pills. Tang Ao, if you're not confident, then concoct a cauldron of nurturing chi pills. Because the ingredients for spirit ocean pills are very precious, I have only managed to gather one set of ingredients for spirit ocean pills. Bai Suru did not finish her sentence. The ingredients for spirit ocean pills seemed to be very important to Bai Suru. So when Bai Suru spoke to Tang Ao, she changed her playful expression and said seriously, "Lady Bai, don't worry. I have concocted a lot of spirit ocean pills." Tang Ao knew that the reason why Bai Suru took out the cauldron and ingredients was because his storage ring was taken by Tian Xiangfei. Although Bai Suru had not told Tang Ao how he lost his storage ring, Tang Ao would not blame Bai Suru. After all, Bai Suru was not the one who took Tang Ao's storage ring, and Bai Suru had saved his life. After Tang Ao finished speaking, he threw the spirit herbs needed to refine the spirit sea pill into the alchemy furnace one by one. Even though Tang Ao's current strength was less than 1%, Tang Ao's attainments in alchemy did not decline too much. Alchemy was different from combat. Combat required the support of spiritual power and life soul. But alchemy only required powerful soul power to control the size of the flame in the furnace and purify and fuse the herbs. Bai Suru originally had some expectations for Tang Ao. If Tang Ao really did cultivate in an alchemy sect like he said, then it would not be impossible for him to concoct spirit sea pills at this age. But after seeing Tang Ao alchemy, Bai Suru was extremely disappointed. At the same time, tears of grievance flashed in Bai Suru's eyes. Although she would not blame Tang Ao after Tang Ao alchemy failed, these herbs were not easy to come by. However, these herbs had not come easily. 2 of them were even betrothal gifts that Tian Xiangfei had given to his sister, Bai Qin. In order to get these herbs, Bai Suru went through a lot of hardships just to concoct a spirit sea pill for her. Bai Suru shook her head. It was useless to think about it now. Because Tang Ao had thrown all the herbs needed to concoct spirit sea pill into the cauldron, Bai Suru initially thought that if Tang Ao alchemy skills were not good enough, she would find a way to stop him from continuing to concoct spirit sea pills and save some of the herbs. Chapter 876. Naturally, Tang Ao did not know what Bai Suru was thinking. Otherwise, Tang Ao would have been speechless. Previously, Tang Ao had also refined pills in this manner. But in fact, many pills did not need to be refined in this manner. It was just that Tang Ao wanted to save time. So when he extracted the herbs and fused the medicinal liquid, he extracted all the herbs at the same time and then fused them one by one. It was not impossible to concoct pills like this, but it had a very high requirement for the alchemist. Even in the black-yellow continent, there was no other alchemist who could do this except for Tang Ao. However, concocting Spirit C pill was different. To concoct a special grade Spirit C pill, one had to fuse the extracted medicinal liquid at the same time. If one missed the best time to fuse, even if Tang Ao was a 6th grade alchemist and had the alchemy inheritance from the Shinong Emperor, he would not be able to concoct a special grade Spirit C pill. However, Baisuru had never seen this method of concocting pills before. She had never even heard of concocting pills like this. Therefore, in Baisuru's eyes, Tang Ao did not know how to concoct pills at all. Baisuru was very disappointed. She had casually given such a precious Spirit C pill to a stranger to concoct. Moreover, she was not sure of his alchemy ability. Now that Baisuru was sure of Tang Ao's alchemy ability, it meant that Tang Ao really did not know how to concoct pills. Even so, Baisuru was still very confused. Normally, if Tang Ao threw all the herbs into the cauldron like this, all the herbs should have been burnt to ashes. However, until now, there was nothing unusual in the cauldron. Thinking about this, Baisuru's heart skipped a beat. Could it be that Tang Ao could not even gather his alchemy fire? If that was the case, all the herbs should be inside the cauldron. Thinking about this, Baisuru excitedly sent her soul power into the cauldron. However, what made Baisuru depressed was that the cauldron had the ability to block other people's soul power. Therefore, her soul power could not seep into the cauldron to see what was happening inside. Just as Baisuru did not know what to do, Baisuru looked confused, because at this moment, a faint fragrance of pills actually suffused her room. Could it be that fellow, Songyu, is refining pills? Songyu was not concocting pills at the moment. Instead, he was not far from Baisuru's room. Songyu was holding a gift box in his hand. Inside the gift box was a snow-white medicinal pill. It was a mid-grade Spirit C pill. Suddenly, Songyu furrowed his brows. At this moment, he actually smelled a pill fragrance in the air. Furthermore, this pill fragrance was somewhat special. Songyu was certain that this pill fragrance was being emitted by the Spirit C pill. Is Su Ro making pills? When did her alchemy level become so high? Thinking of this, Songyu quickened his pace. Rise! Suddenly, Tang Ao patted the pill furnace and immediately shot out a pill incantation. A round pill with a jade-white luster flew out of the cauldron and fell into the jade bottle that Tang Ao had prepared in advance. After storing the pill, Tang Ao casually put up a restriction. The maximum number of Spirit C pills was 3 pills. However, Tang Ao had still underestimated his own injuries. Therefore, he was only able to concoct 1 special grade Spirit C pill. As for the remaining 2 pills, Tang Ao directly gave up on them. Chapter 877. Tang Ao did not know who Songyu was, but he could only shake his head after hearing such arrogant words. There were many geniuses in the world. Even Tang Ao did not dare to say that he was the best among the 6th realm alchemists. There was always someone better out there. Even in the Winter Plain, Tang Ao did not believe that Songyu was the best 3rd realm alchemist. Moreover, Songyu's age seemed to be similar to Tang Ao's. If Tang Ao was also counted as an alchemist of the ice and snow plains, then Songyu would not be able to catch up with Tang Ao's alchemy ability. Songyu, please call me Baisuru. We're not that close. Also, this is my room. Please leave. At this moment, Baisuru was still in a daze. It was not because of Songyu's sudden visit, but because Tang Ao actually managed to concoct a medicinal pill. Although she did not know the grade of the pill, it was most likely the lowest grade Spirit C pill. But Baisuru did not care. She only cared about the Spirit C pill. At this moment, Baisuru could not wait to see the pill that Tang Ao had concocted. However, Songyu had barged in at this time. How could Baisuru not be angry? Suru did not have a good impression of Songyu, and this was her room. Songyu did not even knock on the door. He just pushed the door open. Suru, why are you doing this? I heard that you needed a spirit sea pill, so I brought it to you. Songyu opened the gift box in his hand, revealing the snow-white pill inside. Songyu looked at the pill and said proudly, "This is a mid-level spirit sea pill that I personally made. Even my master praised me when he saw it. I believe this pill will satisfy your requirements, Suru." After seeing the middle-grade spirit sea pill, Suru's eyes flickered. Although she desperately needed this pill, she had no intention of accepting it. "Thank you for your kindness, but I do not need it. Mr. Song, please leave." Suru, you do not know what is good for you. You will be mine sooner or later. You better be polite to me. Do you think that you can refine the spirit sea pill just by finding some trash from somewhere else? After Songyu finished speaking, he coldly stared at Tang Ao and said, "Take out the pills you refined. Even if they're the lowest grade spirit sea pills, I can still recommend you to enter the Heavenly Wolf Tribe's Medicine Refining Valley. Just don't let me see you in front of Suru." Tang Ao's eyes were exceptionally cold. He didn't provoke Songyu, but this person was arrogant because he was a third-grade alchemist. Not only was he overbearing, he even spoke rudely to him just now. If this guy was outside, Tang Ao would definitely teach him a good lesson. But right now, in the Frost Tribe, in order to not implicate Suru's tribe, Tang Ao decided to keep a low profile. Scram. Next time, don't use this kind of trash pill to compare with my pill. Tang Ao's voice was indifferent, and he had no intention of taking out his own pill. Someone like Song, you did not have the right to see the pills he refined. This was Tang Ao's arrogance as a sixth-grade alchemist, and as the disciple of the Shinnong Emperor. Hearing Tang Ao's impolite words, Songyu's eyes were filled with killing intent. "Bastard, you're courting death. Enough, Songyu, please leave. This is the Frost Tribe, not the Medicine Refining Valley, and not your Qinghong tribe." Suru, who had always been gentle, said coldly to Songyu. Chapter 878. "I'm sorry, Tang Ao. I've dragged you into this. I'll prepare some things for you. You should leave." Suru looked at Tang Ao apologetically. Although she hated Songyu, her father was the chief of the Frost Tribe, so Songyu did not dare to do anything to her. However, Tang Ao would definitely be hated by Songyu. Songyu was a rank 3 alchemist. In the Winter Plain, he could be said to have hundreds of followers. If Songyu wanted to deal with an outsider like Tang Ao, who had no background, there would be many people who would be willing to help. There were not many alchemists in the Winter Plain. Therefore, any pellet in the Winter Plain was much more precious than in the Black-Yellow Continent. Even the Black-Yellow Continent, alchemists had a very high status. In the Winter Plain, the status of alchemists rose again. After Tang Ao heard this, he smiled and said, "What is the matter with the Alchemy Valley's Alchemy Conference?" Tang Ao didn't care about Songyu. In terms of alchemy, Tang Ao was a rank 6 alchemist, and Songyu was only a rank 3 alchemist. In terms of cultivation, Tang Ao was a rank 1 life and death realm cultivator. Although he had not recovered from his heavy injuries, Songyu, who was only at the 6th level of the Origin Realm, could not offend him. Suru rolled her eyes at Tang Ao. She did not know if Tang Ao was too arrogant or if he had someone else to rely on. However, Suru still explained the Alchemy Conference to Tang Ao. Although many tribes in the Winter Plain believe that the Heavenly Wolf Tribe is the strongest existence in the Winter Plain, I believe that even if the Alchemy Valley is not stronger than the Heavenly Wolf Tribe, they are on par with them. In the Winter Plain, all rank 3 and above alchemists come from the Alchemy Valley. That Songyu just now is the disciple of an elder from the Alchemy Valley. Suru paused and looked at Tang Ao. "Have you heard of the wood ice fruit?" Wood ice fruit? Not only had Tang Ao heard of it, but not long ago, Bing Xian had given half to Tang Ao to eat. Tang Ao had inherited the alchemy Dao from the Shinnong Emperor, so he had an understanding of almost all the treasures in the world. However, this wood ice fruit was not within the scope of Tang Ao's knowledge. After eating the icewood fruit, Tang Ao felt that if he could obtain a large number of icewood fruits, his injuries might be able to recover. I know about the wood ice fruit. I tasted it not long ago. This seems to be a type of spirit fruit unique to this place. Moreover, it has a certain healing ability. At the same time, it can cleanse a martial artist's physique and strengthen their soul power. It can be said to be a kind of treasure, Tang Ao said after thinking for a moment. When Bai Suru heard Tang Ao's evaluation of the wooden ice fruit, she nodded to herself. Almost everyone knew that the wooden ice fruit could heal injuries and strengthen one's physique, but the fact that it could increase one's soul power was a secret that not many people knew. However, just because Tang Ao had eaten a wooden ice fruit, he could tell so much. It was quite impressive. I didn't expect your senses to be so sharp. Are you really a rank 3 alchemist? Bai Suru said half-jokingly. Are you really willing to marry me if I'm a rank 3 alchemist? Tang Ao smiled casually. Bai Suru glanced at Tang Ao. If you really are a rank 3 alchemist, of course I can consider it. After all, in the Winter Plain, high-level alchemists are very precious. Then Bai Suru's eyes flashed with a hint of slyness. If you are a rank 4 alchemist, I can even be your concubine. Chapter 879. What Tang Ao did not know was that a 4th grade pill master could no longer be described as merely a 4th grade pill master. It was only because he was a 6th grade pill master that Tang Ao felt that a 4th grade pill master was so cheap. In fact, even in the black-yellow continent, a 4th grade pill master was a hot commodity. In the 7 Kills sect that Tang Ao was in, there were only 2 4th grade pill masters, the Great Elder and the 7th Elder. As for a 5th grade pill master, there was only one, and that was the Supreme Elder, Fengya. However, the 7 Kills sect was already one of the top sects in the vast black-yellow continent. Some of the weaker sects did not even have a 4th grade pill master, let alone a 5th grade pill master. If Tang Ao had not coincidentally obtained the legacy of the Shinnong Emperor in the Underworld Emperor's secret realm, he would not have been able to become a 6th grade pill master. In the entire black-yellow continent, there were only a few 5th grade pill masters. As for a 6th grade pill master, apart from Tang Ao, it would be hard to find a second one. What does the conference have to do with the wooden ice fruit? Tang Ao was still very interested in the wooden ice fruit. The effects of this spiritual fruit were very useful to Tang Ao. There are 5 forbidden areas in the Winter Plains. Have you heard of them? Bai Suru did not answer Tang Ao's question, but asked a question instead. Tang Ao had heard of the 5 forbidden areas in the Winter Plains, but Tang Ao did not know which ones they were. I only know of the gloomy poison swamp and the depths of the snow mountains. I don't know anything else. Other than the gloomy poison swamp and the depths of the snow mountains. The other 3 forbidden areas are the passage to the demonic region, the Black Wind Valley, and the Earth Bodhisattva Cemetery. The Pill Concoction Valleys Conference is related to the Earth Bodhisattva Cemetery. There is a type of fruit tree in the Earth Bodhisattva Cemetery called the spiritual ice fruit. It is said that all the wooden ice fruit trees in the Winter Plains are grown from the seeds of the spiritual ice fruit. The wooden ice fruit trees were grown from the seeds of the spiritual ice fruit. Tang Ao's heart was filled with disbelief. Why did the seeds of the spirit ice fruit tree not produce a spirit ice fruit tree, but a wood ice fruit tree? Also, what's the difference between the wood ice fruit and the spirit ice fruit? Tang Ao asked. That's right. The wood ice fruit tree should have been grown from the spiritual ice fruit. Although I haven't seen it with my own eyes, my grandfather once entered the Xitigarbis Cemetery and obtained the spiritual ice fruit there. The few wood ice fruit trees in the Frost tribe were grown from the seeds of the spiritual ice fruit. As for the difference between the wood ice fruit and the spirit ice fruit, it can be said that the effect of the spirit ice fruit is 10 times or even dozens of times that of the wood ice fruit. After hearing Bai Suru's explanation, Tang Ao was shocked. The heavenly materials and earthly treasures of this world were truly miraculous. Tang Ao was already very surprised by the wood ice fruit. He hadn't expected that there would be a spirit ice fruit that was even more heaven-defying than the wood ice fruit. No matter what, Tang Ao had to think of a way to go to the Xitigarbis Cemetery. If the Xitigarbis Cemetery has something as good as the spiritual ice fruit, why is it still called a forbidden area? Moreover, Tang Ao was a little confused. If the Xitigarbis cemetery was discovered during by Suru's grandfather's generation, then after so many years, there was probably nothing left in the cemetery. Chapter 880. How do I enter Xitigarbis cemetery? Since he had decided to go, Tang Ao naturally wanted to find out more about Xitigarbis cemetery. As for the danger, Tang Ao didn't feel much of it. It was not that Tang Ao was not afraid of danger. It was because danger often came with rewards. In a dangerous place like this, the rewards would definitely be beyond imagination. Moreover, with Tang Ao's current injuries, there was nothing Tang Ao could do except use the immortal pills recorded by the Shenong Emperor. However, Tang Ao was still a distance away from becoming a grade 1 immortal pill refiner. It was obvious that Tang Ao would not be able to become an immortal pill refiner in a short period of time. Moreover, Tang Ao did not have the immortal spirit herbs needed to concoct immortal pills. However, there was always a way. Tang Ao had already realized that consuming enough wooden ice fruits might be able to heal his injuries. Now that he knew about the spiritual ice fruit, which was even more powerful than the wooden ice fruit, Tang Ao was sure that if the spiritual ice fruit was as Suru said, he would definitely be able to recover from his injuries with just a few spiritual ice fruits. After his injuries were healed, Tang Ao would help the Snow Feather tribe solve their problems. Then, he could find a way out of this place. Seeing Tang Ao's longing for Xitigarbis cemetery, Suru could not help but roll her eyes. According to the agreement of the tribes, only 1,000 people can enter Xitigarbis cemetery every 18 years. 1,000 people is not a small number. Tang Ao did not know much about Xitigarbis cemetery, so he felt that 1,000 people was not a small number. Suru shook her head. There are more than 300 tribes of various sizes on the Winter Plains. Each tribe has at least 200 people. Some of the bigger tribes have thousands or even tens of thousands of people. Only 1,000 people are allowed to enter the Winter Plains at a time. On average, there are less than 3 people in each tribe. Moreover, more than half of the tribes do not even have a place in the Winter Plains. Doesn't every tribe have a place to enter Xitigarbis cemetery? Tang Ao thought that since the rules for entering the Xitigarbis cemetery were decided by the tribes, each tribe should have more or less a quota to enter. Considering that each tribe had different strengths and weaknesses, Tang Ao did not say that the quota should be divided equally. After all, when entering the Netherworld Emperor's secret realm, the 8 great sects and 6 great clans of the primordial era each had 5 quotas, while the rest of the sects had fewer. Most of the sects only had 1 quota. But even so, no matter how weak a sect was, there was at least 1 quota. How could there be such a good thing? Suru felt that Tang Ao's idea was too good. These 1,000 slots will be allocated through the Alchemy Valley's Alchemy Conference. The first place of the Alchemy Valley's Alchemy Assembly will get 100 spots. The second place will get 90 spots, and so on. The 10th place will get 10 spots. Could it be that this Xitigarbis cemetery is related to alchemists? Otherwise, why would they use this method to determine the quota to enter Xitigarbis cemetery? Also, even if it's 1,000 spots, the first and 10th place in the Alchemy Assembly will only get 550 spots. How will the remaining 450 spots be allocated? Although Tang Ao wasn't the smartest, he was still quite astute. After hearing Suru's explanation, Tang Ao immediately thought that there might be some connection between Xitigarbis cemetery and alchemists. Chapter 881. So that's how it is. Then why don't we prepare antidotes before entering the Xitigarbis cemetery? Wouldn't that be much more convenient? Moreover, most antidotes can cure a variety of poisons. Tang Ao was a 6th grade alchemist, so he clearly knew more about antidotes than Suru. Yes, I know that too. But didn't I just say that the poisons inside are a bit special? Most antidotes that can cure a variety of poisons don't have much of an effect on these poisons. Every time 1,000 people enter the Xitigarbis cemetery, less than 100 come out. I've heard that a few times no one came out alive. Half of the warriors that die inside are killed by the shadow beasts. while the other half are killed by the poisons. Tang Ao didn't really agree with Baisuru's words, but Tang Ao didn't say it out loud. In Tang Ao's opinion, the Xitigarbis cemetery was a treasure land, so there were naturally many treasures inside. As the saying goes, people die for wealth, and birds die for food. Once an incredible treasure appeared, it would definitely cause a commotion. This way, fighting was unavoidable. Therefore, most of the people that entered the Xitigarbis cemetery died at the hands of others. You still haven't said how the remaining 450 spots will be distributed. Tang Ao had just calculated that according to the Alchemy Assembly's allocation, out of the 1,000 spots, only 550 would be allocated. As for the remaining 450 spots, Tang Ao still didn't know. The reason why Tang Ao wanted to find out was because Tang Ao had to go to the Xitigarbis cemetery. Before his cultivation recovered, it was impossible to force his way in. Therefore, Tang Ao could only enter the Xitigarbis cemetery through the quota. There are 9 high-grade tribes in the Winter Plains. The remaining 450 spots will be distributed to each tribe, Baisuru said helplessly. Baisuru said helplessly. If the Ice Frost tribe was also a high-ranked tribe, their tribe would not have to worry about the quota. Unfortunately, the Frost tribe was weak, and they were still miles away from being a high-grade tribe. Hearing Baisuru say this, Tang Ao thought that there was no fairness in this world. On the surface, the 1,000 spots would be distributed through the Alchemy Conference, but in fact, the 9 magnates of the Ice Plain had directly taken nearly half of the spots. Apart from the 9 high-ranking tribes, the remaining 300 tribes had to compete for the 500 spots. The competition was quite intense. Moreover, the high-ranked tribes that had been allocated the quota would most likely participate in the Alchemy Conference's competition. You're not really planning on going to the Xitigarbis cemetery, are you? Baisuru asked when she saw Tang Ao in deep thought. Yes, I must make a trip to the Xitigarbis cemetery. However, it won't be easy to get a spot, Tang Ao said casually. It's not just difficult. There are more than 300 tribes in the Winter Plains. Even though they know that the Xitigarbis cemetery is filled with dangers, countless people still want to go there. Because of this, the status of alchemists, who are already rare in the Winter Plains, rose. It's a pity that I'm only a first-grade alchemist. Even if I participate in the Alchemy Conference, I won't be able to get a spot. Chapter 882. If Tang Ao's alchemy skills were really that good, then Tang Ao was not bragging or pretending to be strong in front of Songyu. It was because Songyu did not have any sense of superiority in front of Tang Ao. Tang Ao did have the right to be arrogant. Tang Ao, are you really a third-level alchemist? Baisuru asked in disbelief. Tang Ao smiled and shook his head. Just when he was thinking about not telling Baisuru that he was a 6th-level alchemist, Baisuru suddenly said, I understand. She understood? Tang Ao was stunned. He did not even say it. Did Baisuru already know that he was a 6th-level alchemist? What Tang Ao did not know was that Baisuru did not see him as a 6th-level alchemist, but as a 4th-level alchemist. Tang Ao, you can represent the Frost tribe to participate in the Alchemy Conference. Baisuru did not finish her sentence, as if she thought of something and suddenly stopped. Sigh, if only I met you earlier. The Frost tribe only has 1 spot to participate in the conference, and this spot has already been given to Master Nongsang. Tang Ao originally wanted to help the Frost tribe win some spots to repay Baisuru's kindness, but he did not expect the Frost tribe to have already chosen an alchemist. Therefore, Tang Ao could not ask the Frost tribe to replace the alchemist and let him participate in the conference. Tang Ao wasn't sure about the relationship between this great master Nongsang and the Frost tribe. Since he couldn't use the Frost tribe's quota, Tang Ao could also ask the Snow Feather tribe and the Flying Fox tribe if they had the quota to participate in the Alchemy Conference. Miss Bai, I have come to visit. Suddenly, a gloomy voice came from outside Baisuru's door. If Master Nong has anything to tell me, just send someone to pass the message. There is no need to come in person. Baisuru still respected Nongsang. Nongsang did not look at Baisuru, but looked at Tang Ao and asked Is this Master Tang Ao who is going to represent the Frost Tribe in the conference? I've heard a lot about you. Nong Sang's voice was very gloomy. After saying that, Nong Sang looked at Bai Suru and said, I wouldn't dare to order Miss Bai around. I just hope that Miss Bai's eyes aren't so bad that she won't be fooled by some master swindlers. Hearing Nong Sang scolding him indirectly, Tang Ao flew into a rage. If you have something to say, then say it. If not, then scram. As for Miss Sue Rose foresight, it's not something that some old people can compare with. Little bastard, you dare to scold me? Do you know that I'm a 4th-level alchemist? Even if you're also an alchemist, as long as you're not a 4th-level alchemist, you'll be committing a crime in the ice and snow plane. Nong Sang was refining pills in his room when Song Yu suddenly ran over and told him that Bai Suru had brought back a pill refiner from somewhere, seemingly wanting to replace his position. Nong Sang was not very interested in helping the Frost Tribe participate in the alchemy conference. In his heart, he just wanted to deal with it casually. If there were no experts participating, he would help the Frost Tribe get a few spots. If there were strong alchemists participating, even if he could not get a spot, the Frost Tribe would not say anything. After all, among the 4th-level alchemists, his alchemy level was only below average. Even so, Nong Sang was still very angry that someone wanted to replace him. During this period of time, he had obtained a lot of benefits from the Frost Tribe. Naturally, he was not willing to give up such a position. Therefore, after knowing about Tang Ao's existence, Nong Sang angrily came to question him. Chapter 883. Piss off. How dare you compare yourself to Master Nong Sang? A harsh voice came from outside Bai Suru's room and entered Tang Ao's ears. Tang Ao could tell that it was the great elder of the Frost Tribe, Bai Yuanfeng, who had scolded Bai Suru not long ago. Bai Yuanfeng, you've gone too far. I'll go tell my father right now and let Tang Ao represent Nong Sang at the conference. Bai Suru originally respected Nong Sang quite a bit, but she did not expect him to be such an arrogant and narrow-minded person. Alchemists were allowed to have some pride and temper, but this Nong Sang was too narrow-minded. Tang Ao had only refined a cauldron of pills in her room, and had already slandered Tang Ao as a substitute for the Frost Tribe. Since Ms. Bai does not trust me, then I'll take my leave. Nong Sang heard Bai Suru's words and was about to leave. Master Nong, stop! At this moment, a strong voice was heard. Tang Ao looked at the person. It was a middle-aged man with a mighty figure. Bai Suru's eyes reddened when she saw the middle-aged man. Father, why are you here? Bai Zhu glanced at his daughter with a hint of helplessness. Suru apologized to Master Nong Sang. Master Nong Sang is an important guest of the Frost Tribe. No one can change the fact that Master Nong Sang will represent the Frost Tribe in the conference. But Father Tang Ao, Bai Suru felt that Tang Ao's pill concoction ability was not any worse than Nong Sang's. Bai Suru had seen Nong Sang concoct pills before. She had even seen him concoct spirit sea pills. However, when Nong Sang was making pills, not only was his level not as high as Tang Ao's, the process was also very difficult. It was not like Tang Ao's natural and unrestrained style. All right, stop talking. Apologize to Master Nong Sang immediately. I'm tired. Bai Suru suddenly realized that Bai Zhu's current state was not as good as he appeared. So Bai Suru gritted her teeth and said to Nong Sang, Master Nong Sang, Suru has offended you before. Please forgive me. I wouldn't dare. This old man isn't talented. How could I be compared to great Master Tang Ao? Nong Sang said in a strange tone as he blew his beard. Young friend Tang Ao, please leave my Frost Tribe. This time, it's my fault for not treating you well. After saying that, Bai Zhu coughed lightly. Tang Ao could naturally tell that Bai Zhu had been poisoned. Although he seemed to be full of energy, he was only forcefully suppressing the poison with his spiritual power. However, such a method wouldn't be able to suppress the poison for too long. Therefore, Bai Zhu wanted to resolve this matter as soon as possible. Tang Ao looked at Bai Suru and saw the sadness in her eyes. Tang Ao sighed and smiled at Bai Suru. Miss Suru, I will repay you for saving my life in the future. I'll take my leave now. Walking to the door, Tang Ao turned around and said, "If I can get into the Earth Bodhisattva Cemetery, I will definitely give you a spot." Tang Ao left after saying that. Although he had only spent less than half a day with Bai Suru, Tang Ao could still feel her kindness and gentleness. By now, Tang Ao had almost recovered. As long as he didn't run into any Sea of Souls realm danger along the way, Tang Ao would have no problem returning to the gloomy poison swamp. Chapter 884. This is where Tang Ao parted ways with you guys. Ice Howl and the others arrived at the outskirts of the snowy mountains. They had been here half a day ago when they came to look for Tang Ao, but they still couldn't find Tang Ao even after searching for a long time. Hence, Ice Howl brought everyone here to see if they were looking in the wrong direction. Of course, there was another possibility that no one was willing to believe, and that was that Tang Ao was already in the belly of a monster. "Chief Grandpa, I found traces of fight ahead," Bing Ixen shouted to Ice Howl and the others as she sat on the fire dragon Shix. Back then, Tang Ao and the Shadow Beast at the pinnacle of the Origin Martial Realm had a huge battle, and Tang Ao had eventually killed the Shadow Beast. As the snowy mountains were too dense, it was difficult to see traces of a fight in the distance from the ground. Bing Ixen, however, could easily see it from midair. "Xiner, why are you here?" Heiyin looked at little Ixen and smiled bitterly. "I'm here to look for Brother Tang Ao too. I feel that Brother Tang Ao is over there." "All right, let's go take a look." "Xiner, come down quickly. Don't fly in the sky. It's very dangerous above the snowy mountains at this time," Ice Howl shouted to Bing Ixen, who was in midair, and the group headed in the direction she pointed. When Tang Ao walked into the snowy mountains again, the sun had almost set. Tang Ao knew that monsters would be more active at this time, and it would be very dangerous to travel through the snowy mountains. However, Tang Ao didn't know of any other way to the gloomy poison swamp. Fortunately, Tang Ao's soul power was incomparably powerful. Under the perception of Tang Ao's powerful soul power, Tang Ao was able to evade some of the dangers in advance. Some of the weaker monstrous beasts were easily killed by Tang Ao. As he walked, Tang Ao suddenly let out a soft cry of surprise. Tang Ao's gaze fell on the empty snowy ground 30 feet in front of him. The heavenly polar pupils flashed, and Tang Ao saw a venomous snake with scales as hard as rocks and terrifying fangs hiding under the snow. The poisonous snake only had the cultivation of the 3rd level of the Origin Realm, and it was not much of a threat to Tang Ao. What attracted Tang Ao's attention was not the snake, but the fruit tree behind it. This fruit tree did not have a single leaf, and there was only one fruit on the entire tree. Moreover, Tang Ao recognized this fruit. It was the wood ice fruit. Although the Xitigarbus Cemetery had a better spirit ice fruit than the wood ice fruit, Tang Ao couldn't deny that the wood ice fruit was also a rare treasure. "Chi!" As Tang Ao stared at the wood ice fruit, the snake opened its huge mouth and a poisonous arrow shot towards Tang Ao. The poisonous arrow had a very strong corrosive power. Before it even got close, there was a pungent stench in the air. Tang Ao's body flashed, and the poisonous arrow was dodged by Tang Ao. After Tang Ao dodged it, the poisonous arrow did not lose any of its power and went into a thick tree. "Chi! Chi! Chi!" A burst of white smoke came out, and immediately after, the tree quickly withered. Soon, the tree that was full of life became a rotten wood. This animal has such a powerful poison. Although the poisonous snake only had the cultivation of the 3rd level of the Origin Realm, its poison was very powerful. If one was not prepared, a 9th level of the Origin Realm, or even a Spirit Sea Realm warrior, could be killed by its poisonous arrow. Chapter 885. Battle Sage Bone. A golden light flashed on Tang Ao's body as a layer of golden glass armor enveloped Tang Ao. The poisonous fanged snake's tail instantly lashed at Tang Ao's throat. Although the poisonous fanged snake's tail was not weak, Tang Ao was not able to withstand it. Although the venomous fanged snake's tail was powerful, it was still worlds apart compared to the battle sage bone life soul. Under the venomous fanged snake's ferocious attack, Tang Ao didn't feel much. Instead, the venomous fanged snake was shaken by the battle sage bone life soul's counterattack. Tang Ao couldn't fight for long in his current state, so at the instant the venomous fanged snake was repelled by the battle sage bone life soul, an azure light appeared. It was the green lotus sword soul. With a flash of the sword, the venomous fanged snake was sliced into two by Tang Ao. After the venomous fanged snake landed on the ground, without waiting for it to escape, Tang Ao threw two fireballs at it. In an instant, the venomous fanged snake was burned into nothingness by the fireballs. After finishing off the venomous fanged snake, Tang Ao prepared to pluck the wooden ice fruit under the snow. However, just as Tang Ao took a step forward, a snow-white figure suddenly plucked the wooden ice fruit under the snow at lightning speed. After plucking the wood ice fruit, the snow-white little fellow immediately ran away. Before Tang Ao could even react, he had already disappeared without a trace. Tang Ao was at a loss whether to laugh or cry. When the sandpiper and clam fought, the fisherman benefited. He had been the fisherman so many times, but this time he had been treated as a fighting sandpiper. Although the snow-white figure was extremely fast, Tang Ao could still tell that it was a snow-white snow fox. This little fellow seemed to be very good at concealment. When Tang Ao was fighting the venomous fanged snake, he had swept his surroundings with his soul power, but Tang Ao didn't discover the little fellow's existence. With a bitter laugh, Tang Ao continued moving forward. With that little fellow's speed, Tang Ao would definitely not be able to catch up. Moreover, Tang Ao felt that even if he caught up to the wood ice fruit, it would probably be eaten by it. But what surprised Tang Ao was that not long after Tang Ao left, the little fox actually came back with a wronged expression. Tang Ao smiled, then looked at the little guy and said, "Little guy, you've got guts. You stole my things and still dare to come back." As Tang Ao spoke to the little snow fox, he suddenly realized that there was a white-clothed figure following the little snow fox not far away. The figure in white was a peerless woman. She wore a long white dress and looked ethereal. Her eyebrows were as beautiful as a painting, and her skin was whiter than snow. Her eyes seemed to contain a clear spring that could captivate one's soul. The woman was definitely not charming, but she was definitely attractive. It made people unable to bear to look away from her. However, the woman's expression was cold, as if she was unapproachable. It made people want to get close to her, but they didn't know where to start. At the same time, Tang Ao also noticed that there was a group of people following behind the beautiful woman. Although this group of people had different cultivation bases, their personalities were shockingly similar. They all had arrogant expressions, as if they were born to be superior to others. There were people that others had to look up to. Tang Ao was stunned. Then, he recalled that Song Yu, whom he had met not long ago, was also like this. Could it be that these were all disciples of the medicinal refinement valley? This wood ice fruit is yours, right? Little Snow is a little mischievous and has caused trouble for you. I'll return the wood ice fruit to you. The beautiful woman walked in front of Tang Ao and spoke gently to Tang Ao. After saying that, she returned the wood ice fruit that the little snow fox had stolen to Tang Ao. Chapter 886. This wood ice fruit has the aura of a venomous fanged snake, so it's obviously guarded by a venomous fanged snake. It's at least an origin realm level 1. It's not something Shui can handle. The woman's voice was gentle, but her expression was still cold. Tang Ao nodded his head and prepared to keep the ice wood fruit. As for giving this wooden ice fruit to this stunning beauty, Tang Ao had no such intentions. The fruit was priceless. Even if someone went looking for it, it would be difficult to find it. Tang Ao's injuries hadn't healed yet. The fruit would help Tang Ao a lot. Hold on, friend. Since junior sister Chu Shiwahan's pet beast likes this wood ice fruit, why don't you sell it to me? You can name your price. A handsome young man in a snow-white robe blocked Tang Ao's way. I'm not selling. The fruit was quite useful to Tang Ao, and Tang Ao didn't need any beads, so he naturally wouldn't trade with this person. What? Did I, Yi Fan, hear wrong? You're not selling the fruit? Yi Fan's eyes were a bit dark. Other than being a disciple of the Medicine Valley, he was also the young master of the Wanhua tribe. Even though they were fellow disciples of the Medicine Valley, everyone had to be polite to him. Of course, Chu Shuahan was an exception. In the Medicine Valley and even the Winter Plains, the number of people chasing after Chu Shuahan could surround the gloomy poison swamp. But without exception, Chu Shuahan didn't care about them at all. As a disciple of the Medicine Valley, he had more opportunities to interact with Chu Shuahan, so he could occasionally talk to her. But now, he had a chance to show off in front of Chu Shuahan. But this wild kid didn't give him any face. Then, Yi Fan realized that this person didn't know who he was. That was why he rejected him so straightforwardly. Listen up, kid. I'm the young master of the Wanhua tribe. Are you sure you want to reject me? What? When Tang Ao heard this, he immediately showed a shocked expression. Chu Shuahan shook her head. Ordinary people would find it hard to move their eyes away from her the first time they saw her. However, Tang Ao only glanced at her with slight appreciation and did not stare at her anymore. Chu Shuahan thought that Tang Ao was different from the others. But looking at Tang Ao's current performance, it seemed that Tang Ao was also like those who fawned on the rich and powerful. What? Are you willing to sell the wood ice fruit to me now? Yi Fan and the people behind him looked at Tang Ao with disdain. Although they followed behind Yi Fan with the intention of currying favor with him, their faces were still filled with disdain when they saw Tang Ao's appearance. After talking for so long, I thought you were the Wanhua tribe's patriarch. I also said that if you were the patriarch of the Wanhua tribe and you begged me, I could consider selling the wood ice fruit to you. Tang Ao said with a serious look, as if he had really made this decision after careful consideration. When Chu Shuahan heard Tang Ao's words, she giggled. Tang Ao's words were really too funny. Originally, she thought that Tang Ao would admit defeat after knowing Yi Fan's identity. She didn't expect that Tang Ao would purposely tease Yi Fan. That's not right. Could he be using this method to get close to me? After Chu Shuahan laughed, she thought to herself. Chapter 887. Are you telling the truth? As long as I kneel and beg for mercy, you'll leave my corpse intact. What no one expected was that after Yi Fan's threat, Tang Ao would ask such a question. Yi Fan was used to being arrogant, so this wasn't the first time he had threatened someone. But in the past, the people he threatened either fought back or immediately knelt and begged for their lives. But this was the first time Yi Fan had encountered a situation like Tang Ao's. Did this person want his corpse intact after he died? Yi Fan thought to himself, I'm a man of my words. If I say I'll leave your corpse intact, I'll leave your corpse intact. That's a pity. Even if you kneel and beg for mercy, I won't leave your corpse intact. After Tang Ao said this, a teleportation talisman appeared in Tang Ao's hand. Under the astonished gazes of Yi Fan and the others, Tang Ao's body flashed with white light. At the same time, a black shadow flew into the little snow fox's mouth. Then, Tang Ao disappeared. Not long ago, when fighting the shadow beast, Tang Ao hadn't had the chance to gather spirit power to activate the teleportation talisman. But this time, Tang Ao had a lot of time. When Yi Fan revealed his hostility, Tang Ao had already started to gather spirit power to activate the teleportation talisman. Not long ago, he had completely activated the teleportation talisman. Tang Ao naturally wanted a toy with Yi Fan. Chu Shuahan saw a black shadow shoot toward the little snow fox and immediately became angry. She waved her hand and a white silk flew out, blocking the black shadow that was shooting toward the little snow fox. The black shadow landed. It was a jade bottle. Chu Shuahan suspiciously picked up the jade bottle. After opening it, 3 grass-green pills appeared in front of Chu Shuahan. This bastard, the next time I see him, I'll grind his bones to dust. Yi Fan and the others had been stunned by Tang Ao's actions. Only now did they come to their senses. When they came to their senses, they saw Chu Shuahan looking at the jade bottle with astonishment. More accurately, she was looking at the pills in the jade bottle. Shuahan, the pills in the jade bottle were left behind by that kid, right? What kind of pill is it? Yi Fan was gritting his teeth just now, but now that he was talking to Chu Shuahan, he immediately became amiable. However, Chu Shuahan glanced at him. Yi Fan, we're not that close. You can just call me by my name. Also, I hate your habit of bullying others. Chu Shuahan hugged the snow fox and left the place after she finished speaking. Others might not know what the pills in the jade bottle that Tang Ao threw at the end were, but Chu Shuahan, as the direct disciple of the medicine refining Valley's Valley Master, naturally knew what the 3 pills in the jade bottle were. The 3 grass green pills were called spirit beast pills. After a demonic beast consumed them, it could cleanse their marrow and bones, improving their physique and potential. Chu Shuahan had adopted this little snow fox since it was young. She liked it very much. Although Chu Shuahan was prepared to refine some spirit beast pills, if she had the chance in the future to help the little snow fox refine its marrow and bones and increase its potential, it was still not enough. Chu Shuahan had always been unable to gather the ingredients needed to refine the spirit beast pills. Thus, Chu Shuahan decided to try her luck when the Xitigarbis cemetery opened. However, she did not expect that before she entered the Xitigarbis cemetery, Tang Ao had already given her the spirit beast pills. Giving me spirit beast pills for no reason? Does this person have some ulterior motive? But I don't even know his name. I'm probably overthinking it. However, I can't accept this pill. I'll return it now. Chapter 888. Tang Ao did not walk around randomly. He flashed his body and jumped onto a thick ancient tree to hide. Just then, under Tang Ao's soul power scanning, there was no sign of human warriors around, but there were a lot of powerful beasts around. During the time that Tang Ao had been in the ice snow plain, he had seen a lot of Origin Martial Realm beasts, but it was the first time for Tang Ao to see a Sea of Souls Realm beast. Right now, there were a lot of Sea of Souls Realm beasts around Tang Ao. However, these beasts seemed to have their own territories and only moved around in their own areas. Therefore, after a few powerful beasts sensed Tang Ao, they only growled and did not chase towards Tang Ao's direction. Could it be that this area is also the territory of a powerful demonic beast? But there doesn't seem to be any powerful beasts in this area. After observing for a while on the tree, Tang Ao was sure that his guess was correct. These beasts indeed had a specific area of activity. If there was nothing big, they would not invade the territories of other beasts. Moreover, Tang Ao vaguely felt that he seemed to be in the territory of a powerful beast. However, no matter how hard Tang Ao searched, he could not find that powerful and mysterious beast. Since he couldn't find it, Tang Ao simply gave up on searching for this mysterious monster. Instead, he carefully observed the few Sea of Souls Realm beasts around him. Tang Ao did not know where this place was, but Tang Ao knew that with his current power, it would not be a wise decision to stay here for a long time. However, after Tang Ao had observed for a long time, Tang Ao sadly found that no matter where he went, there were powerful Sea of Souls Realm beasts guarding him. If Tang Ao wanted to leave this area, no matter which direction he went, he would run into Sea of Souls Realm beasts. Right now, Tang Ao could barely handle peak-level Origin Martial Realm beasts, so it would be very dangerous to face Sea of Souls Realm beasts. Thinking about that, Tang Ao took out a wooden ice fruit that he had gotten not long ago. Although it might only be a drop in the bucket, Tang Ao still hoped that this wooden ice fruit could help his spiritual ocean recover a bit. Right now, Tang Ao's spiritual ocean was completely broken, so he could not store any spirit power. If it were not for the fact that Tang Ao had awakened a lot of powerful life spirits, he would not be so passive right now. As long as this wood ice fruit could repair some of Tang Ao's spiritual sea and allow Tang Ao to store a certain amount of spirit energy, then Tang Ao wouldn't be so passive anymore. Otherwise, even if Tang Ao used the teleport talisman, he would have to absorb and refine the spirit power. Although Tang could absorb and refine spirit power very fast, it could be fatal in a moment of life or death. Therefore, Tang Ao desperately hoped that his spiritual ocean could store some spirit power. He did not need too much, as long as he could use the teleport talisman. After eating the wooden ice fruit with hope, Tang Ao's injuries did recover a bit. However, the results still disappointed Tang Ao, because Tang Ao's spiritual ocean was still broken, so he could not store any spirit power. When Tang Ao was thinking about how to recover in the snow plain, almost everyone in the black-yellow continent was looking for Tang Ao. Chapter 889. Back then, the battle between Tang Ao and the geniuses of various forces was also frequently mentioned. Originally, Tang Ao was still a nameless nobody in the black-yellow continent. But now, Tang Ao's name had shaken the entire continent. It was said that Tang Ao had fought against the Bai family's genius, Bai Zhanyuan, Ouyang family's new genius, Xiahou family Xiahou Quangtian, and many other geniuses. Under the siege of these people, although Tang Ao eventually escaped with heavy injuries, this battle record was enough for him to be proud of. Under the siege of more than half of the geniuses of the same realm in the black-yellow continent, he still managed to escape. However, after that battle, Tang Ao seemed to have completely disappeared. Countless people waited outside Seven Kills sect, wanting to know if Tang Ao had returned or not. But after 3 months, there was still no sign of Tang Ao. Seven Kills sect Supreme Elder Feng Yu was also extremely furious about Tang Ao being surrounded and attacked by so many geniuses. After learning the whole story, the experts from the various sects who were camping outside the Seven Kills sect were all killed by Feng Yu. After that, all the sects naturally joined forces to put pressure on the Seven Kills sect. Even the sect masters of 3 of the 8 great sects and 2 of the 6 great clans of the primordial era came to the Seven Kills sect to demand an explanation from Feng Yu. The 5 of them went on a rampage, killing from the foot of Seven Kills sect all the way to the peak. All the Seven Kills sect disciples they encountered were killed by the 5 of them. It was as if they wanted to tell Seven Kills sect their attitude and force them to hand over Tang Ao. Seven Kills sect was enraged. Just as they were about to fight to the death to defend their dignity, Seven Kills sect Supreme Elder Feng Yu and another Supreme Elder Feng Tianxing came out of seclusion. 3 sect leaders and 2 family leaders were killed by Feng Yu and Feng Tianxing with lightning speed. At this point, Seven Kills sect, which had been silent for 1,000 years, once again revealed its ferociousness. From then on, no one dared to go to Seven Kills sect to ask for Tang Ao. This was because the 5 of them were also peak life and death experts. However, such experts were actually killed by the 2 Seven Kills sect's great elders with lightning speed. This was enough to prove that the Seven Kills sect seemed to be hiding 2 legendary astral-reaching experts in the black-yellow continent. Tang Ao was still unaware of the changes in the black-yellow continent. Now, Tang Ao was not in the mood to think about the black-yellow continent. Tang Ao was most concerned about how to get out of this dangerous place. Are you missing something? Suddenly, a crisp voice sounded behind Tang Ao. Tang Ao was greatly alarmed. His soul power had been enveloping the surroundings, but when the young girl behind him appeared behind him, Tang Ao didn't even notice it. Apart from the fact that Tang Ao was seriously injured, it also meant that the girl behind him was very strong. Tang Ao turned around and saw a young girl in a green dress standing behind him. The young girl's eyes were very bright, and her long eyelashes seemed as if they could speak. However, perhaps because of her young age, her figure was still somewhat immature. However, when paired with her pure and peerless appearance, she was quite pleasing to the eye. At the same time, Tang Ao could see the cultivation base of this young girl, sixth layer sea of Soul Realm. Tang Ao smiled bitterly. Originally, Tang Ao thought that this was the domain of a powerful demonic beast. He didn't expect that a fairy-like young girl lived here. With Qing Zhao's protection, the Sea of Souls realm beasts outside would not be a problem at all. After all, the most powerful Sea of Souls realm beasts were only at the 3rd level, while Qing Zhao's power was at the peak of the 6th level. All right, which way should we go? Tang Ao looked at the beasts around him. None of them were something he could handle, so he asked Qing Xiao, aren't we going to use the teleportation Jade Talisman to leave? Qing Xiao waved the teleportation Jade Talisman in her hand. If we use the teleportation Jade Talisman, we won't be sure where we will end up. It might be a very dangerous place, just like Tang Ao wanted to say that it would be just like this place, but he managed to hold it in. Chapter 891. A first-grade immortal level trapping formation. Tang Ao's heart was in turmoil. Tang Ao's formation skills were imparted to him by the 3 saints of Unfettered, Yun Xiaoyao. Although Tang Ao could only set up a 6th-grade spiritual formation, Tang Ao still had the ability to discern. The trapping formation before him was obviously not a 6th-grade spiritual formation, but a 1st-grade immortal-level trapping formation above a 6th-grade spiritual formation. Tang Ao would not be able to decipher such a formation in a short period of time. Even if Tang Ao's abilities did not recover to their peak, he would not be able to do anything to this formation. Fortunately, this formation did not seem to be perfect. Otherwise, he would not have been able to enter the formation with the help of the spatial escape talisman. It was an indisputable fact that martial arts in the Winter Plains were backward. However, after seeing this 1st-grade immortal-level trapping formation, Tang Ao was very doubtful. Was the development of martial arts in the Winter Plains really backward? Do you know what's imprisoning me? Qing Xiao looked at Tang Ao doubtfully. From Qing Zhao's words, Tang Ao knew that Qing Xiao did not seem to understand formations. Therefore, Tang Ao explained the formation to Qing Xiao. As a 6th-grade spiritual formation master, and with Yun Xiaoyao's inheritance, Tang Ao had a rather thorough understanding of formations. In that case, we can only use this stone, the spatial Jade Talisman, to leave. Qing Xiao waved the teleportation Jade Talisman in her hand. Tang Ao nodded. If this 1st-grade immortal-level trapping formation was perfect, the spatial Jade Talisman would not be able to enter or leave this space. However, it was obvious that the person who had set up this trapping formation deliberately did not perfect the formation. The reason why Tang Ao said this was because he discovered that other than the gap in the array formation, the rest of the array formation was basically done to a perfect degree. Therefore, it wasn't that the array formation master didn't know about this problem, but he deliberately left this gap. Perhaps the formation master wanted to leave a chance of survival for those trapped in the formation. At this thought, Tang Ao was suddenly enlightened. If this was the case, everything made sense. It seemed that this place also had an unknown secret. However, Tang Ao was currently burdened with problems, and Tang Ao really did not have the energy to care about these matters. Tang Ao, how do I use this stone? Qing Xiao asked Tang Ao with a pout. Tang Ao knew that the stone referred to the teleportation Jade Talisman, so Tang Ao did not dwell on the question. You can activate the Jade Talisman by injecting spiritual energy into it. Just like this. Tang Ao took the Jade Talisman from Qing Zhao's hand and slowly gathered his spiritual energy. As he poured his spiritual energy into it, the originally calm Jade Talisman lit up with a white light. After that, the teleportation talisman glowed and enveloped Tang Ao and Qing Xiao. Next, the white light disappeared and Tang Ao disappeared as well. When their feet touched the ground again, Tang Ao had arrived at a vast mountain range. Qing Xiao had never used a teleportation array before, nor had she used a spatial teleportation item before. So, after using the teleportation jade talisman for the first time, Qing Xiao felt dizzy and her beautiful eyes seemed to be twinkling with stars. After a long while, Qing Xiao finally recovered. After waking up, Qing Xiao looked at the surrounding scenery and said excitedly, "I'm finally out. But where is this place?" Chapter 892. Qing Xiao, do you have a place you want to go? Tang Ao felt that this girl was a little strange, or rather special. There were many things that she didn't know about, and she didn't even know where she was from. According to the conversation between Tang Ao and Qing Xiao seemed to only know that she used to live in a palace, but when she was very young, she somehow appeared in the place that she and Tang Ao had left not long ago. "No, I don't know where I want to go either. Can I go to your house?" Qing Xiao looked at Tang Ao expectantly as she asked. Tang Ao nodded. "Sure, you can follow me first. When you remember where your house is, I'll send you back. Let's go find out where the gloomy poison swamp is." "The gloomy poison swamp? Is your house in the gloomy poison swamp?" Qing Xiao brushed the hair on her forehead and asked casually. From her tone, Tang Ao knew that Qing Xiao was the same as him and didn't know much about the winter plains. Otherwise, she wouldn't be so casual when talking about the gloomy poison swamp. One had to know that the gloomy poison swamp was one of the 5 forbidden areas of the winter plains. However, Qing Xiao's expression was very indifferent when she heard about the gloomy poison swamp. "Who are you people?" Tang Ao was just about to find someone to ask where the gloomy poison swamp was when a soft shout came from behind him. Tang Ao turned around. At this moment, on a huge rock not far from him and Qing Xiao, stood a girl in plain white training clothes. The girl was also quite pretty, but compared to the stunning Qing Xiao, she instantly paled in comparison. Tang Ao sighed inwardly. The Winter Plains was indeed a treasure land of outstanding people. It was simply a place where beauties gathered. Chu Xiuhan, whom he had met not long ago, was like a fairy who had accidentally fallen into the mortal world. Qing Xiao, who was by Tang Ao's side, was also like an orchid in an empty valley. Although the girl in front of him couldn't compare to Qing Xiao and Chu Xiuhan, who were devastatingly beautiful, she was still extremely beautiful. Besides Luo Cai, there was probably no other woman in the 7 Kills sect that was more beautiful than her. "What a beautiful sister!" Qiuling couldn't help but exclaim when she saw Qing Xiao standing beside Tang Ao. Despite being a beauty herself, Qiuling couldn't help but sigh. "I'm Tang Ao. Because I used the teleportation jade talisman, I came here by mistake. I don't know where this place is. Can you tell me where the gloomy poison swamp is?" At first, Tang Ao thought that this was the wilderness, but not long ago, after Tang Ao's soul power swept over a few low-level spiritual herbs planted not too far away, Tang Ao felt that this seemed to be the spiritual herb garden of some tribe or power. This is one of the 36 herb mountains of the Medicine Refinement Valley. I saw that you didn't have the identity token of a Medicine Refinement Valley disciple, so I came over to ask. Since you've entered this place by mistake, you should leave quickly. Although I don't know why you're asking about the gloomy poisonous swamp, it's best if you don't go there. As she spoke, Qiuling threw a jade slip to Tang Ao. Tang Ao took the jade slip and swept it with his soul power. He was overjoyed. This jade slip was actually a relatively complete topographic map, which recorded most of the places in the Winter Plains. Tang Ao cupped his fists in thanks, and at the same time threw a jade bottle over. "This is a pill that I refine myself. Thank you for the map." Chapter 893. After Tang Ao and Qing Xiao left, Qiuling looked at the jade bottle in her hand, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. She was one of the top 10 disciples of the Medicine King, and in the ice and snow plains, she could be considered as a top alchemist. Although Qiuling had just been promoted to a 5th-grade alchemist, she could already refine many 5th-grade pills. Just now, Tang Ao had left her a bottle of pills before he left. Let's see what pill this guy gave me. Xiaoling shook her head and opened the jade bottle that Tang Ao had thrown to her. Seeing the 6 light pink pills in the jade bottle, Xiaoling's heart skipped a beat. As a 5th-grade alchemist, Xiaoling naturally knew that the pill in the jade bottle was a top 5th-grade pill called Little Lotus Pill. Lotus Pill could be said to be a holy pill among healing pills and was divided into Little Lotus Pill and Big Lotus Pill. Little Lotus Pill was a top 5th-grade pill, while Big Lotus Pill was a top 6th-grade pill. But whether it was Little Lotus Pill or Big Lotus Pill, they were extremely precious. This preciousness did not lie in the ingredients, but in the process of refining the pill. Even the top 5th-grade alchemist could not guarantee that they could successfully refine Lotus Pill every time. This person can casually take out such a precious pill like Little Lotus Pill. Could he be the young master of a top tribe? But among the top 9 tribes, there doesn't seem to be any descendants with the surname Tang. Tang Ao, Xiao Ling recalled again, and after confirming that there was no such person as Tang Ao, she stopped thinking about Tang Ao's identity. But the Little Lotus Pill that Tang Ao gave her still made Xiao Ling unable to calm down for a long time. With the map that Xiao Ling gave them, Tang Ao and Qing Xiao quickly arrived at the edge of the gloomy poison swamp. As soon as Tang Ao arrived, he saw He Yin. He Yin was carrying a big axe on his shoulder, sitting alone on the boat, as if waiting for someone. "Brother He Yin," Tang Ao passionately shouted. He Yin's character was straightforward and honest. Tang Ao had a good impression of him. Hee, little brother Tang Ao, I knew you would be fine. Patriarch and Exine have been going out to look for you for the past few days. We are preparing to set off again, He Yin said as he took down the wine pouch from his waist and threw it to Tang Ao. Have a sip. After speaking, He Yin looked at Qing Xiao, who was standing beside Tang Ao. He Yin chuckled. Beautiful girl, do you want a bite? Without waiting for Qing Xiao to speak, Tang Ao hurriedly rejected for Qing Xiao. Qing Xiao is a girl. She doesn't drink. Tang Ao knew how powerful He Yan's willing wine was. Even with Tang Ao's 9 dragons, Emperor's jade body and life, and Death Realm warrior's physique, he could not withstand it. If Qing Xiao were to drink it, she would probably become a drunk cat. Big brother Tang Ao, you are finally back. Bing Xian was riding on a small fire dragon. After seeing Tang Ao, she happily waved her little hands at Tang Ao. Big brother Tang Ao, why did you bring back beautiful sister so soon? Uncle He Yin is so old, and he still hasn't brought back beautiful sister. Patriarch Grandpa said that if he doesn't quit drinking, he won't be able to find a wife in this lifetime. Hearing Bing Xian's words, Tang Ao shook his head and smiled bitterly. Although a child's words carried no harm, this little Bing Xian was too talkative. He Yan's face darkened after hearing what she said. He could not help but knock her little head. Tang Ao, are these your family? Qing Xiao looked at He Yin, Bing Xian, and the others. Her beautiful eyes were a little dazed. Qing Xiao seemed to not remember anything about her family. Chapter 894. While Tang Ao had been missing, other than Bing Xiao and the others who had been searching for Tang Ao, the other members of the Snow Feather Tribe and Flying Fox Tribe had already set up camp on the island in the middle of the lake. When Tang Ao arrived at the island, he saw the sizable camp of the 2 tribes. Although it was a bit primitive, it was enough for living. This island is indeed a good place. It's just that water and food have to be brought in from the outside. It's very inconvenient. Also, there's only one spirit boat that can enter and exit the island. There's a limit to the number of people that can enter and exit the island each time. He Yin drank a mouthful of wine and said to Tang Ao, Indeed, back then, we only considered finding a safe place. Although this island is safe, it's not good for living. Tang Ao also realized the problem that He Yin mentioned. However, there are monstrous beasts and shadow beasts on the icy plains. There probably wasn't a place that could guarantee both safety and convenience. Brother Tang Ao, don't listen to Uncle He Yin's nonsense. Xian feels that this place is pretty good. Little Exin interrupted when she heard the conversation between Tang Ao and He Yin. Tang Ao smiled at Bing Xen, then patted her little head. Brother He Yin, do Chief Bing Xiao and Chief Silver Fox have any solutions? Although Tang Ao had gradually integrated into the large group of the Snow Feather Tribe and the Flying Fox Tribe, Bing Xiao and Silver Fox were the leaders of the two tribes. Therefore, the two chiefs were the most anxious when the tribe was in danger. Since the two of them were able to become the leaders of their respective tribes, they obviously had their own strengths. Since they had encountered trouble, they must have thought of a way to deal with it. In this period of time, the drinking water and food in the tribe were gathered by the martial artists of the two tribes outside of the gloomy, poisonous swamp. However, out of the 500 people in the two tribes, there were only 200 or so martial artists. As for those above the origin realm, there weren't even 100. When they go out to hunt, it's always the warriors of the origin realm who go out to hunt, but the beasts they kill are often not enough for 500 people. He Yin finished and drank a mouthful of wine. Tang Ao nodded. There were only about 100 people who went out to look for food, but they had to feed over 500 people. This meant that one person had to be responsible for the food of 5 people. Thus, the warriors of the Snow Feather Tribe and the Flying Fox Tribe had a heavier burden. On the Black-Yellow continent, origin realm martial artists could abstain from eating. However, on the Winter Plain, due to the fact that the spiritual energy of the world was too thin, even Sea of Souls realm martial artists needed food to survive. XINR, how did you guys solve the food problem on Snow Feather Peak? Tang Ao picked up little XR. Oh, there are many farmlands on Snow Feather Peak that can grow wheat. There are also some low-level demonic beasts in the back of the mountain for meat. With the addition of the demonic beasts hunted by the warriors in the upper tribe, there is enough food for everyone to eat. Snow Xian on the fields, there was Snow Peak. After chatting with He Yin and Xian for a while, Tang Ao went to Bing Xiao's tent. In the tent, not only Bing Xiao, but the Silver Fox, Fire Fox, and the 2 elders of the Snow Feather Tribe were also there. After chatting with He Yin and Xian for a while, Tang Ao went to the Bing Xiao's tent. Tang Ao went straight to the point. Patriarch Bing Xiao, I heard that the Alchemy Valley will soon hold an alchemy conference to determine the number of people who can enter the Xitigarbis Cemetery. Does the Snow Feather Tribe have any candidates for the conference? Chapter 895. Hearing Tang Ao's question, Ice Howl sighed. Both the Snow Feather Tribe and the Flying Fox Tribe have a quota each, but neither tribe has a powerful alchemist. Every year, there are more than 800 participants. In order to stand out among the 800 alchemists, one needs to be at least a 4th-grade alchemist or even a 5th-grade alchemist. Tang Ao was delighted. Chief Ice Howl, I am a 4th-grade alchemist. May I represent the Snow Feather Tribe in this alchemy conference? You want to participate in the alchemy conference? Sure, the Snow Feather Tribe has always been there for fun anyway. Ice Howl agreed to Tang Ao's request without hesitation. However, the Silver Fox sisters and the 2 elders of the Snow Feather Tribe were confused. Tang Ao was a 4th-grade alchemist? Since when were there so many 4th-grade alchemists? How could any random person claim to be a 4th-grade alchemist? Ice Howl had the mind's eye, so he could tell that Tang Ao was not lying. However, Ice Howl was still shocked. The Silver Fox sisters did not know that Tang Ao was telling the truth, so they looked at Tang Ao suspiciously. You're a 4th-grade alchemist? Fire Fox could not help but ask. Following Fire Fox's words, the others also looked at Tang Ao. That's right. I will refine a batch of elixirs, but look, Tang Ao knew that this was not something that could be explained clearly. The simplest way was to refine a batch of elixirs. A 4th-grade elixir was no longer a challenge for Tang Ao. Now that Tang Ao was a 6th-grade alchemist, his success rate in refining 6th-grade elixirs was close to 99%. It was naturally impossible for him to fail in refining a 4th-grade elixir. The reason why Tang Ao did not say that he was a 5th-grade or 6th-grade alchemist was that Tang Ao did not have the ability to protect himself. It would be dangerous even if he revealed that he was a 4th-grade alchemist. If others knew that Tang Ao was a 5th grade or 6th grade alchemist, Tang Ao would be locked up for the rest of his life. To the astonishment of Ice Howl and the others, a batch of 4th grade elixirs was refined by Tang Ao. This time, Tang Ao did not go all out. Among the 5 people here, Ice Howl and the Silver Fox sisters might be trustworthy, but Tang Ao was not familiar with the other 2 elders. Now that he was weak, there was no harm in holding back. Furthermore, it didn't matter if he held back now. As long as he could obtain a place in the Alchemy Conference, it would be fine. In the Alchemy Conference, Tang Ao had no intention of fighting for first place. In Tang Ao's opinion, as long as he could get the 10th place, it would be enough. Even the 10th place would have 10 slots to enter the Xitigarbis Cemetery. Tang Ao only wanted 3 slots. 1 for Bai Suru, 1 for Tang Ao, and 1 for Qing Xiao. As a 6th level Sea of Souls realm martial artist, Qing Xiao would definitely be able to help Tang Ao in a dangerous place like the Xitigarbis Cemetery. Of course, if Qing Xiao was unwilling to enter the Xitigarbis Cemetery, then Tang Ao wouldn't force her. The remaining quotas were left to Ice Howl and the others to distribute. After Tang Ao finished refining the elixir, Bing Xiao took a deep breath and solemnly discussed with Tang Ao, "Little friend Tang Ao, I've never heard of your alchemy skills. If you can obtain a ranking in this alchemy conference, can I shamelessly ask you for 2 slots to enter the Xitigarbis Cemetery?" Chapter 896. Seeing her sister's embarrassment, Firefox comforted her softly. "Sister, the Xitigarbis Cemetery is so dangerous. Even if you go in, it's hard to come out alive. Moreover, Tang Ao might not even be able to obtain a ranking," Firefox said with a bit of a guilty conscience. She had already witnessed Tang Ao's superb alchemy skills. Although she did not know alchemy, she knew that Tang Ao's attainments in alchemy were not bad. "Chief Ice Howl, you're exaggerating. If I can get a place to enter the Xitigarbis Cemetery, the Snow Feather Tribe and the Flying Fox Tribe will give me 3 places each. Also, I wonder if the Snow Feather Tribe and the Flying Fox Tribe have any books on spiritual herbs? Can I borrow them for a few days? I'm not from the Snow Plains, so I'm worried that some of the special spiritual herbs are unique to the Snow Plains. If I don't recognize them during the Alchemy Conference, I'll let everyone down." Tang Ao had heard from Bai Suru about the Alchemy Conference. The Alchemy Valley's Alchemy Conference was divided into 3 segments. The first segment was identifying spiritual herbs. Theoretically, Tang Ao had the most advantage in this segment. Tang Ao had the inheritance of the Shinnong Emperor. Not to mention normal spiritual herbs, Tang Ao could even recognize more than 70% of the immortal spiritual herbs. However, the Snow Plains were too special. Treasures like the wooden ice fruit were not recorded in the Inheritance Jade Scroll of the Shinnong Emperor. Tang Ao was worried that other than the wooden ice fruit, there were other special spiritual herbs in the Snow Plains. If that was the case, Tang Ao might be eliminated in the first segment. Ice Howl nodded and handed an ancient scroll to Tang Ao. The Snow Feather Tribe has never had a great alchemist. Among the previous chiefs, only one was an early-stage 4th grade alchemist. This is the chief's alchemy manuscript. It records the spiritual herbs he recognized and some of his alchemy experiences. I hope it will be helpful to you. Silver Fox handed a storage ring to Tang Ao. "I found this storage ring in a relic. If you need to understand the spirit herbs of the Winter Plains, this storage ring should be very useful to you. There are more than 7,000 kinds of spirit grass specimens in this ring. It should have been collected and organized by a powerful alchemist." Tang Ao was overjoyed. "Thank you, Clan Leader Bing Xiao and Clan Leader Silver Fox. If I can get a good ranking in this alchemy conference, the Snow Feather Tribe and the Flying Fox Tribe will definitely give me 3 spots each. If I can't get a ranking as long as I stay in the tribe for a day, I will refine pills for the tribe." After hearing Tang Ao's promise, Ice Howl and Silver Fox were slightly moved. In the Ice and Snow Plain, 4th level alchemists were not the top alchemists. but they were treated as distinguished guests wherever they went. Except for the 9 great tribes and some of the more powerful tribes, the rest of the tribes did not have a 4th-grade alchemist. Even if there was a 4th-grade alchemist in a tribe, he would easily be invited by the more powerful tribes. There were more than 800 alchemists participating in the alchemy conference each time, but most of them were there to make up the numbers. Among them, there were less than 50 4th-grade alchemists, and these 4th-grade alchemists were undoubtedly from the top tribes, or the high-level tribes. A normal high-level tribe would not have a 4th-grade alchemist willing to stay, let alone a mid-level tribe like the Snow Feather tribe and the Flying Fox tribe, which were relatively weak. Chapter 897. Brother Tang Ao, are you going to live next to Xina? Tang Ao had just finished building a house's frame when Bing Xion's voice came from behind Tang Ao. Tang Ao smiled lightly. It turned out that this small wooden house was where Bing Xion lived. Yeah, Qing Xiao and I are going to be neighbors with you. That's great. I will ask Amon to help Brother Tang Ao build a house. As Bing Xion spoke, a special key-shaped life spirit was released by her. She then held the key in her hand and twisted it in the air. A door slowly opened, and a minotaur monster appeared in front of Tang Ao and Qing Xiao. Qing Xiao's beautiful big eyes were filled with disbelief, as if she had never seen this kind of life spirit secret art before. Tang Ao explained on the side, Xen life spirit is a summoning type. She can summon creatures from other realms. I don't know what realm this beast is from. It's my first time seeing it. Xen is so powerful. Qing Xiao also copied Tang Ao and touched Xen's little head. Master, how can I help you? The barbarian king carried 2 axes on his back that were even taller than Tang Ao as he bowed slightly to Bing Xen. Amon, can you help Brother Tang Ao build a house as well? Bing Xen pointed at the empty space on the side and said, I am the barbarian king of the north. How could I do this kind of thing? The barbarian king crossed his arms in front of him and looked at Tang Ao with disdain. Tang Ao was a bit surprised by this bull as well. With the sky-polar eyes, he could see that this bull was an astral-reaching realm warrior. However, because Bing Xen was too weak, the bull's power was only at the body-refining realm. While looking at Tang Ao, the barbarian king suddenly saw Qing Xiao, who was right next to Tang Ao. Little girl, who are you? Why do I feel a pressure from you? Tang Ao was a bit surprised after hearing the barbarian king's words. Qing Xiao was not weak, but she was only at Sea of Souls realm level 6. However, the barbarian king's real power was at the peak of astral reaching realm level 9. Even if his power was suppressed, he should not feel pressure when facing Qing Xiao. Suddenly, Tang Ao realized that besides the suppression of power, there was also the suppression of bloodlines between the beasts. Tang Ao activated his heavenly polarity eyes and looked at Qing Xiao again. This time, Tang Ao was shocked. Although Qing Xiao looked no different from a human, the sky polarity eyes probing revealed that she really wasn't a human. She was the dragon race's little dragon girl. However, the dragon race was too large, and Tang Ao didn't know which branch of the dragon race Qing Xiao belonged to. Wild, after you help Brother Tang Ao build a house, I'll give you delicious gentian grass. Bing Xiao took out a purple spirit grass from his spatial ring. The Tian. The barbarian king's eyes, but he, Xien, the dragon? Tang Ao looked at the plant in Bing Xien's hand. It was indeed the dragon, which had the effect of strengthening muscles and bones. The beast's bodies were already very powerful. If the dragon was used to strengthen the body, it would make the beast even more powerful. After thinking it through, Tang Ao took out a pellet and handed it to the barbarian king. This is a dragon bone pellet. See if you need it. The dragon bone pill was a 5th-grade pill refined from gentian grass and many other spirit herbs. Its effect was 10 times or even dozens of times that of gentian grass. Chapter 898. Tang Ao had inherited the legacies of several great emperors, so his knowledge was naturally incomparable to others. The frigid North Territory was recorded in Ming Di's inherited memories. According to Ming Di's inherited memories, he once tore open the space barrier and reached a territory with special beasts called the frigid North Territory. In the frigid North Territory, there were some rare crafting materials that couldn't be found in other territories. Ming Di didn't have many memories of the frigid North Territory. He had traveled all over the world, so it was already quite impressive that he had this much information. Moreover, in Tang Ao's opinion, it was mostly because Ming Di had a good friend, Yun Xiaoyao, who was also a top-grade crafting master. Brother man, the pellet I'm giving you is called Dragon Bone Pellet, a 5th-grade pellet. Gentian grass is only one of the supplementary materials. As there aren't many spiritual grasses in the ice and snow plain, I don't have enough spiritual grasses to refine dragon bone pills. Therefore, I'm afraid I can't give you too many dragon bone pills in a short period of time. Being Xin could be called Barbarian King on man, but Barbarian King was a peak astral-reaching expert. Even when Tang Ao was at his peak, Barbarian King's strength was comparable to Tang Ao's. Therefore, it wasn't a big deal for Tang Ao to call Barbarian King brother man. I can give you some of the treasures in the frigid North Territory first. If you give me 100 dragon bone pellets in 1 year, then they are all yours. Barbarian King threw a storage ring to Tang Ao. Tang Ao checked with his soul power and was shocked. The storage ring was filled with all kinds of crafting materials ranging from 2nd to 5th grade. There were even a few 6th grade materials. Even though Tang Ao had a bountiful harvest in the Netherworld Emperor's mystic realm, when he saw the mountain of materials in the Barbarian King's storage ring, he was shocked by the Barbarian King's generosity and the richness of the wintry North Territory. These materials are quite a lot, but in terms of value, they can only be exchanged for 50 dragon bone pellets. For Xian Er's sake, I can give you 60 pellets in total. How about it? Tang Ao wasn't spouting nonsense. Although the Barbarian King's smithing materials were not bad, a grade 5 dragon bone pill was also a rare item. According to the price of goods in the Black-Yellow continent, these materials combined might not even be enough to exchange for 50 dragon bone pills. The dragon bone pill was not only useful for demonic beasts, it was also useful for human cultivators. Human martial artists could also refine their physiques and strengthen their physiques after taking it. Barbarian King's artifact crafting materials were indeed good things for Tang Ao, but for other people, they were probably just ordinary artifact crafting materials. Not all alchemists were also blacksmiths. The Barbarian King stared at Tang Ao for a while with his bell-like eyes, then nodded and said, "Okay, this is the illustration of most of the spirit materials in the Northern Chill Territory. I hope I can exchange it with you in the future." The Barbarian King handed a thick animal skin scroll to Tang Ao. Seeing that the Barbarian King was so straightforward, Tang Ao was also in a good mood. He immediately handed a storage ring to the Barbarian King and said, "There are 20 dragon bone pills and 10 spirit beast pills in this ring. Spirit beast pills can increase the cultivation potential of young beasts. It's useless for me to keep it, so I'll give it to Brother Barbarian." Different from the dragon bone pill, spirit beast pills were useless for human cultivators. Chapter 899. After trading with Barbarian King, Tang Ao did not continue to use wood to build a house. Instead, he took out a pile of refining materials and began to refine a cave residence. Previously, Tang Ao did not have refining materials on him, so Tang Ao could only build a wooden house with logs like Bing Xian. But now that he had traded a lot of materials from Barbarian King, Tang Ao naturally did not need to use such a primitive method. He took out the Shinnon cauldron, and a dark blue flame slowly burned in the Shinnon cauldron. This flame was summoned from the underworld, life, spirit from the underworld. The underworld fire was dozens of times stronger than ordinary flames. Tang Ao did not have a good flame on him, so it was quite suitable to use the underworld fire to refine. However, the attribute of the underworld fire was Yin, so it was not suitable for alchemy. As the materials were thrown into the Shinnong cauldron by Tang Ao, a house-like spiritual tool slowly appeared in the dark blue underworld fire. The cave residence that Tang Ao refined was a two-story building. The first floor was the hall, and the second floor was divided into 3 sets of large rooms and several small rooms. After refining halfway, Tang Ao's face was a little pale. The grade of this cave residence that Tang Ao refined was not high. It was only at the level of a 5th grade spiritual tool. However, Tang Ao obviously underestimated his injuries. Just as he carved 3 sets of inscription arrays inside the spiritual tool, Tang Ao's soul felt a tingling pain. Tang Ao looked at the 6 sets of inscription arrays that had not been completed and could only smile bitterly. He then withdrew his soul power and closed his eyes to adjust his breathing. Refining a 5th grade spiritual tool was just a small matter for Tang Ao in his heyday. But now, even if Tang Ao tried his best, he could not complete such a complicated 5th grade spiritual tool in one go. The last time he refined a 6th grade spiritual tool, it only took Tang Ao 10 minutes. This time, it took Tang Ao nearly half a day to refine this 5th grade spiritual tool. When the bright moon rose from the east, Tang Ao finally finished refining this grade 5 spirit weapon. Following Tang Ao's activation, the spiritual artifact instantly turned into a 2-story building that rose from the ground. On the island at the center of the lake, the wooden houses that everyone built were either 1 story or 1.5 stories. Therefore, even at night, when Tang Ao's 2-story building appeared, it still attracted some onlookers. "Brother Tang Ao, your house is so beautiful. Xinair also wants to live in it." Little Bing Xin said to Tang Ao with anticipation. Tang Ao nodded. "No problem. I've also prepared a room for Xinair." On a stone platform not far from Tang Ao, there was a 1.5-story wooden house. This wooden house belonged to the Silver Fox sisters. At this moment, the 2 of them were sitting on the roof of the wooden house, looking into the distance. When the Fire Fox saw Tang Ao's 2-story building, she curled her lips. This guy really likes to be in the limelight. Even building a house can cause such a big commotion. Why do you pay so much attention to Tang Ao? Could it be that you've taken a fancy to him? The Silver Fox casually teased. How could I possibly like that kind of guy? The Fire Fox hastily defended herself. Really? I think that kid is pretty good. The Silver Fox brought the wine pouch to her red lips and took a sip. I think that you and Uncle Hay are also pretty good. The Fire Fox said, not to be outdone. Little girl, you're lacking a lesson again. Chapter 900. At the edge of the gloomy poison swamp, a group of travel-worn figures stood there, looking at the depths of the swamp in confusion. The leader was a muscular young man who looked similar to Bing Xiao. He was Bing Feng, the grandson of the chief of the Snow Feather tribe. Although the Snow Feather tribe was only an ordinary mid-level tribe, Bing Feng was one of the top 10 experts in the Winter Plain. Su Kuei, you said a person called Tang Ao came to the Snow Feather tribe? Also, the tribe was chased out of the Snow Feather Peak and hid in the gloomy poison swamp? Bing Feng looked at Su Kuei indifferently. Su Kuei was from the Flying Fox tribe and didn't have a good impression of Tang Ao. After knowing that Tang Ao was a 4th-rank alchemist, he hated Tang Ao even more. Now, whether it was the Snow Feather tribe or the Flying Fox tribe, the most talked-about person was Tang Ao. Before Tang Ao came, Su Kuei was the most outstanding youth in the Snow Feather tribe and the Flying Fox tribe. But after Tang Ao came, everything changed. After the Snow Feather Peak was occupied, Tang Ao ventured into the gloomy poison swamp and found a suitable place for everyone to live. When the Snow Feather and Flying Fox tribes were retreating, they met a shadow beast at the peak of the Origin Realm. It was Tang Ao who came out and lured the shadow beast away. Now that the Xitigarbis Cemetery opened once every 10 years, the Snow Feather tribe and the Flying Fox tribe didn't have any powerful alchemists, so they had nothing to do with the cemetery. But then, it was Tang Ao who revealed that he was a 4th-rank alchemist. As a result, Su Kuei had become a marginal figure in the two tribes, while Tang Ao had always been discussed enthusiastically by the people in the tribe. He didn't want to give up, so he traveled to the distant Ice Snow tribe and invited Bing Zhao's grandson, Bing Feng. That's right, brother Bing Feng. There's a young man called Tang Ao in the tribe. He's loved by the chief and the elders. Also, the Snow Feather tribe was chased out of the Snow Feather Peak. I feel something is wrong. By the way, big brother Bing Feng, do you want to go to the Snow Feather Peak to teach that Wu Tugu a lesson before coming back to teach Tang Ao a lesson? Su Kuei had two purposes in inviting Bing Feng back. One was to teach Tang Ao a lesson, and the other was to use Bing Feng to get Snow Feather Peak back. Even the smelly old man would be chased out of the Snowy Feather Peak. Bing Feng was gloating over the misfortune of the Snow Feather tribe. Moreover, he didn't seem to have any intention of helping the Snow Feather tribe to take back the Snow Feather Peak. Let's go and meet Tang Ao first. But how did you enter the gloomy toxic swamp? Bing Feng had been driven out of the Snow Feather Peak by Bing Xiao, so he naturally would not help the Snow Feather tribe take back the Snow Feather Peak. As for Tang Ao, he wanted to let Bing Xiao know that Bing Feng, was the most outstanding person in the Snow Feather tribe. Even if he had made some mistakes, he would not be punished. Big brother Bing Feng, please wait a moment. When we enter, we will take the spirit boat. I will send a signal to He Yin to drive the spirit boat out. Su Kuei said to Bing Feng with a fawning expression. After Su Kuei finished speaking, he took out a piccolo from his bosom and blew a special string of notes. At this moment, Tang Ao and He Yin were drinking in a straw hut at the edge of the island. After hearing the sound of the piccolo, He Yin was puzzled. Who was back so early in the morning? Maybe it's someone who didn't return to the island in time yesterday. Although the island is good, it's not convenient to go in and out, Tang Ao said after thinking for a while. Chapter 901. Tang Ao drank a mouthful of dendrobium wine and left. There were still 3 months until the Alchemy Valley's Alchemy Conference. According to Bing Xian, this place was quite far from the Yunlu mountain range where the Alchemy Conference would be held, so Tang Ao could set off in a few days. As for the distance, Tang Ao didn't really care. As a 6th level Sea of Souls realm warrior, Qin Xiao could easily fly over with Tang Ao. The reason why Tang Ao prepared to leave early was that he wanted to buy some wooden ice fruits on the way. After eating so many wooden ice fruits, Tang Ao was sure that if he ate a large amount of them, even if his spirit ocean couldn't recover completely, it would at least recover by half. As long as his spirit ocean recovered, Tang Ao would be able to use his spirit power. Right now, Tang Ao couldn't use his spirit power, which caused a lot of trouble for Tang Ao. At the same time, Tang Ao's safety could not be guaranteed. What are you thinking about? Qin Xiao held little Bing Xian in her arms and was biting on a stick of candied hawthorn, just like Bing Xian. I want to go to the Yunlu Mountains in a couple of days and buy some wooden ice fruits on the way. Tang Ao didn't need to hide anything from Qin Xiao and Bing Xian. Buying wooden ice fruits was not a secret either. The fruits had a shelf life of 3 years after being picked, so there were a lot of merchants selling them in the ice plain. The normal price of the wooden ice fruit was 100 low-rank snow beads, but the ones that were bought usually sold at a higher price. Oh, do you like to eat wooden ice fruits? I feel like there are a lot of things here that taste better than wooden ice fruits. Qin Xiao blinked her big eyes and said seriously to Tang Ao after thinking for a while. I'm injured, and I need wooden ice fruits to heal it. Tang Ao felt that his words were a bit strange. For normal injuries, Tang Ao's healing pills were enough. However, for Tang Ao's own injuries, even if he took the Great Lotus Pill, it wouldn't have any obvious effect. Furthermore, the herbs used to refine the Great Lotus Pill were extremely precious. However, the effects of Tang Ao consuming the Great Lotus Pill were far inferior to the effects of consuming the wood ice fruit. Therefore, even though Tang Ao still had a few Great Lotus Pills on him, Tang Ao did not waste them. The wood ice fruit was worth 100 low-grade snow beads, but the Great Lotus Pill was priced at 1,000 snow beads on the ice plain. Furthermore, these 1,000 snow pearls were neither low-grade nor mid-grade. They were high-grade snow pearls. 1,000 high-grade snow pearls were equivalent to 10 million low-grade snow pearls. However, the Great Lotus Pill that was worth 10 million low-grade snow pearls was not as effective as the wood ice fruit. Therefore, Tang Ao naturally chose the wood ice fruit. However, although the price of the wood ice fruit was not expensive, because it only had a shelf life of 3 years, it could not be stored in large quantities. Therefore, it was very difficult to buy the wood ice fruit, even with the snow beads. Furthermore, the price of the wood ice fruit varied greatly depending on its production. At its peak, the wood ice fruit had been sold for 10,000 low-grade snow pearls. This was a world of difference from the standard price of 100 low-grade snow pearls. Now that Tang Ao did not have a single snow pearl on him, Tang Ao could only hope that the price of the wood ice fruit would not be too high. Then you go, Exen, and I will wait for you in the tribe. Qing Xiao bit off a candied fruit and spoke without a care for her image. Although talking and eating at the same time affected her image, Qing Xiao was still an absolute beauty. Even so, she looked very attractive and made people want to protect her. Chapter 902. Heir, Qing Xiao, can you come with me to the alchemy conference? Tang Ao wanted to find a reason for Qing Xiao to accompany him, but after thinking for a long time, Tang Ao still couldn't think of a suitable reason. Sai, forget it, I'll go with you. There should be a lot of good food along the way, right? Qing Xiao stared at Tang Ao with her beautiful big eyes. Of course, Yunlu Mountain is the most prosperous and fertile place in the snow plain. All the delicacies of the snow plain are gathered there. After being in the snow plain for a long time and with Xiao Ling's atlas, Tang Ao had a certain understanding of the snow plain. All right, if you buy me all the good food, I'll go with you. Qing Zhao's beautiful face revealed a smile. Her eyes filled with anticipation. Hearing this, Bing Xin immediately said, Brother Tang Ao, I'll go with you too. You can also buy good food for Xin Heir, okay? Tang Ao smiled. Xin Heir, stay in the tribe and be obedient. Why come back? I'll definitely buy a bunch of good food for Xin Heir. He brought Qing Xiao along because she was strong and could be a great help to Tang Ao in times of danger. Now that Tang Ao couldn't even take care of himself, he obviously couldn't bring Bing Xin along. Although Bing Xin's life spirit surprised Tang Ao and the barbarian king that she summoned was strong, Bing Xin was too weak. But little Bing Xin's strength was too weak, and the barbarian king could not use much of his strength. At the edge of the gloomy poison swamp, He Yin rowed his spirit boat through the layers of fog and saw a few figures on the shore. Seeing Su Kuei, He Yin's face turned cold. Su Kuei was always glib, and He Yin hated him. Although it was his first time, He Yin didn't give Su Kuei any face as a senior. What really annoyed He Yin was that Su Kuei brought outsiders here. It's you, Bing Feng? He Yin didn't recognize Bing Feng at first, but after reaching the shore of the spiritual state, he was shocked to see the burly youth behind Su Kuei. Uncle He Yin, long time no see. Why are you doing this kind of hard work? Bing Feng joked. Bing Feng, you've already been expelled from the tribe. Why did you come back? He Yin had complicated feelings towards Bing Feng. Bing Feng was the most talented clansman in the history of the Snow Feather tribe. When he was 18, he had already reached the origin martial realm, becoming a Sea of Souls realm warrior just like Bing Xiao. But perhaps all geniuses had a common problem. They were arrogant and supercilious. Ice Peak had made a big mistake because of his personality. Eventually, he was chased out of the Snow Feather tribe by the Ice Howl tribe. Since the old man has chased me out of the Snow Feather tribe, I can't be bothered to go back in. You go in and call Tang Ao out. I will compete with him to see who is the #1 hero of the Snow Feather tribe. Bing Feng clenched his fists, his body full of fighting intent. How do you know about Tang Ao? From He Yin's point of view, Tang Ao did not have any spiritual energy fluctuations. If not for the fact that Tang Ao was a fourth-tier alchemist, He Yin would have thought that Tang Ao was just an ordinary person. Therefore, even if Tang Ao was not an ordinary person, his cultivation would not be that powerful. He might not even have reached the origin martial realm. Therefore, there was no way that Tang Ao would be Bing Feng's opponent. After 8 years, I would like to see if you have improved or not. Although He Yin had not reached the Sea of Souls realm yet, he still took out the huge sword on his back and threw it at Bing Feng. Hee hee, Uncle He, you are old. This era belongs to us young people. Chapter 903. In Tang Ao's room, Tang Ao tidied up his belongings. Some valuable items were thrown into the chaotic hexagram mirror by Tang Ao, and some spiritual weapons, elixirs, and array scrolls that he planned to sell in the Cloud Foothill mountain range were stored in Tang Ao's storage ring. Bing Xiao and the others would also be attending the Elixir Refining Valley's Alchemy Conference. However, they would arrive later than Tang Ao. Big Brother Tang Ao, bad news. Uncle Blackrock and Big Brother Bing Feng are fighting. Little Bing Xian shouted anxiously at Tang Ao's door. Little Bing Xian was not even 6 years old when Bing Feng left the Snow Feather tribe. Although Bing Xian's memory of Bing Feng was vague, she still remembered that Bing Feng was the strongest in the tribe. However, Bing Xian did not know why Bing Feng was not well liked. In her memory, Bing Feng treated her very well, so she called him Big Brother. Bing Feng, who is he? Tang Ao asked Qing Xiao as he rushed out of the gloomy poison swamp with Bing Xian. Bing Feng is the grandson of Chief Bing Xiao. Although he is a bit annoying, he is ridiculously strong. He is one of the top 10 experts of the Frost Plains. The one who spoke was Firefox. Although she rarely praised people, she could not help but praise Bing Feng's strength when she mentioned Bing Feng. Since he is the grandson of Chief Bing Xiao, why is everyone acting like they are facing a great enemy? Tang Ao did not know much about Bing Feng, but from what Firefox and Bing Xian said, Tang Ao was very curious about him. He was one of the top 10 experts of the Frost Plains, so he did not know what kind of existence he was. I heard from Uncle Blackrock that because Big Brother Bing Feng did something unforgivable, he was banished from the tribe by Grandpa Chief. Although Xian Air thinks that Big Brother Bing Feng is not that bad, the people in the tribe do not like him. Outside the gloomy poison swamp, He Yan's giant sword had already been smashed by Bing Feng. He Yan's gray hair was covered with a layer of frost. Yes, Uncle He, you are really old. When you were young, you always took care of me in 2 or 3 moves. How come you can't even withstand 1 move from me now? Forget it. I'm not here to look for you today. Old Master, and that Tang Ao should have come out by now. It's been so many years, I wonder if the old man has made any progress. Boy, you still have a long way to go if you want to challenge Patriarch Bing Xiao. He Yin spat out a mouthful of blood. Golden light flashed on his fists as he attacked Bing Feng again. Bing Feng's body was shrouded in cold mist, and at the same time, electric arcs were also revolving around him. Stop! When Tang Ao came out of the poisonous fog, he saw He Yin being blasted away by a lightning arc. At the same time, Tang Ao also knew the level of Bing Feng, one of the top 10 experts in the Ice Plane. He was at the peak of the 9th floor of Linghai Jing. Seeing Bing Feng's cultivation, Tang Ao was quite shocked. Tang Ao thought that Qing Xiao, who was at Sea of Souls Realm level 6, would be able to do whatever she wanted in the Ice Plane. But now, after seeing Bing Feng at the peak of the 9th floor of Linghai Jing, Tang Ao was considering whether or not he should let Qing Xiao accompany him to the Alchemy Conference. After thinking for a while, Tang Ao decided not to let Qing Xiao go with him. Before, Tang Ao wanted Qing Xiao to follow him because he thought that although Qing Xiao was not invincible in the Ice Plane, there should be no one there that could threaten her. Therefore, Tang Ao hoped that Qing Xiao could follow him to the conference. But now, Tang Ao knew that he was thinking too much. Chapter 904. It had been quite some time since Tang Ao came to the ice-snow plain, and he had been to a lot of places there. Tang Ao felt that the aura of heaven and earth was very thin no matter where he went. In some special places, the aura of heaven and earth was so thin that he almost couldn't feel the existence of the aura of heaven and earth. Therefore, Tang Ao thought that training up to the mid-sea of Soul's realm, which was the 6th level, should be the limit. If he continued to train, the natural spirit Qi would not be able to support him to break through. However, after seeing Bing Feng, Tang Ao knew that he had underestimated the ice-snow plane. There must be some kind of secret in the ice-snow plane that could allow warriors to break through to the 6th level. Brother Bing Feng, that brat is Tang Ao. Su Kuei was still thinking about how to lure Tang Ao out, but he did not expect that Tang Ao would come to him before he could even carry out his plan. "Oh, brat, you are Tang Ao." Bing Feng looked at Tang Ao. Tang Ao was about to answer when his expression suddenly changed. Just as Tang Ao was thinking about how to dodge, Tang Ao's body suddenly felt light, and he was lifted up by Qing Shao. After Tang Ao dodged, Tang Ao's spirit boat was hit. A bucket-thick thunder arc flashed across, and the spirit boat was shattered into pieces. If Tang Ao did not dodge in time, this spirit boat would end up just like Tang Ao. Oh, the one that the old man valued is only a guy who relies on women? Bing Feng's figure appeared above the broken spirit state. That poisonous mist that could corrode beasts in a thick water could not hurt him at all. "You run. I cannot beat this guy." Qing Shao stood in front of Tang Ao to protect him while sending a message to Tang Ao. Tang Ao was very frustrated. If he were at his peak, he would be able to beat someone like Bing Feng with only one hand. But right now, he had not fully recovered yet, and he did not even have 1% of his power. Facing Bing Feng, Tang Ao did not even have the chance to fight back. "If I leave, he will definitely vent his anger on you. Activate the escape talisman and we'll escape together." Tang Ao handed a spatial jade talisman to Qing Shao without hesitation. "You want to leave? It's not that easy." With a flash of lightning, the ice mountain appeared beside Tang Ao and Qing Shao. Qing Shao pushed Tang Ao aside and charged towards the ice mountain. Boom! After Qing Shao and Bing Feng clashed, Qing Zhao's delicate body was blasted away by a thunderbolt. However, Qing Shao gritted her teeth and forcefully stabilized her body. Following this, Qing Zhao's azure spiritual energy gathered in her right hand, and the image of an azure dragon claw slowly appeared on her right hand. Bing Feng's expression froze when he saw the illusory dragon claw. He could sense a dangerous aura from the cyan dragon claw. He couldn't let her continue to condense dragon claws. Bing Feng made a prompt decision. Enveloped by the golden lightning, he launched another attack on Qing Shao. Under Bing Feng's control, 3 ice spears and 6 lightning arcs attacked Qing Shao from different directions. "Qing Shao, run!" Tang Ao shouted at Qing Shao with bloodshot eyes. Bing Feng's attack was obviously meant to kill. If Qing Shao was hit by this attack, she would be severely injured even if she didn't die. However, Qing Shao acted as if she didn't hear Tang Ao's words. She gritted her teeth and launched the Azure Dragon Claw on her right hand. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.